Okay, you all have got one thing in common. Okay, you have all come here to make a lot of money. Okay, look at me. I didn't go to college. I don't have some fancy Harvard grade. All right, but I make more than your father. I did of that.
Living life is my mission. I do it with precision. I'm slipping, never tripping. I'm learning this in my vision. Ready to be on deck now, feeling alright. Guts a bite, Henny, we can do it all night. Living for the moment, so watch the clock tick as I drink and party till I start getting sick. Flick like click, telling haters lick the balls. Picture for my slipper and giving I ain't force. If you're a nose, we all here for fun. But I won't stop falling until I'm seeing the sun. Then I'm leaving with something sweet as a cinnamon. And I ain't spitting game, this is how I do it, son. Listen, I ain't playing, it's strictly lit. I already got kids and at home is my whiz. But if you feeling girl, then there ain't no stop. First set up the camera, then let's get it poppin'. If you down, then you gotta let it ride out. See, I can't turn the spot inside out. Get your price on, hit the dance floor. DJ, hit the record, turn it up more. If you down, then you gotta let it ride out. See, I can't turn the spot inside out. Get your price on, hit the dance floor. DJ, take the record, turn it up more. Can't do it, wanna smoke like a chimney. I made a call, inspire me to delivery to hell in the place. I went in the days, we ain't even smoking, it felt like haze. And she paid, so what more can I ask? I broke, she walked out in the be bad. Can't wait till later when I play licky licky with the bad uptown bro. That's called cookie. Smile silly when I sit and reminisce. She said give a shotgun, but she took a kiss. Smoke in my lungs and the tongue touching mine. Big shorty, I was ready to die. Got it, what about such high baby penis with a size, no run, red string and some big ass thighs. She said, let's ride, and she looked in my eyes. And yo, it was the shit, just might as well despise. If you're down, then you gotta let it ride out. See, I came and turn the spot inside out. Get your price on, hit the dance floor. DJ, take the record, turn it up more. If you're down, then you gotta let it ride out. See, I came and turn the spot inside out. Get your price on, hit the dance floor. DJ, take the record, turn it up more. Good music that'll get you in the zone. It don't matter if you're 7 or you're grown. I'm talking Big Papa by B.I.G. Empire State of Mind off Blueprint 3 on the Remedy by me and Mike Breezy. The type of record that are off the easy. Got you feeling cocky like your name is easy. You throwing fingers up like Chris Breezy. See the records that I'm naming are flaming. They give you a craving that ain't no taming. Feels good, but let's make it amazing. No matter if it's liquor or the weed that you claim in. Fuck this bullshit, take my advice. Let the beat take over and start feeling nice. Cause I'm here to have fun. I don't know about you. I'ma turn the music up. Tell me what you want to do. If you're down, then you gotta let it ride out. See, I came and turn the spot inside out. Get your price on, hit the dance floor. DJ, take the record, turn it up more. If you're down, then you gotta let it ride out. See, I came and turn the spot inside out. Get your price on, hit the dance floor. DJ, take the record, turn it up more.
Let's turn it up by J. De Niro. Let's keep moving by Dr. Aqua.
I was born into poverty, never really bothered me. People say that I look mean, I guess you gotta be. Born in the hood, raised in the slums where people pray for miracles, but nothing ever comes. Mama kept moving, working like crazy. Gotta keep food on the plate for two babies. And daddy was around, but he never really got the shit supposed to be watching us, but he just split. Left us all alone, door latched at home. House to ourselves, no chaperone. Forced to be a daddy, had to take care of my brother, and we never would have made it if it wasn't for my mother. She put food on the bottom shelf so I could reach, and I made sure my little baby brother would eat. Life wasn't easy, always told us we were blessed and left the purpose.
Happy Women's History Month. I'm moving. Moving.
Just a baby when I first played Mario, just a young brother coming up in the barrio. Never used the couch when playing on Nintendo. Had to lay down on the carpet in case a bullet hit the window. Sounds like a dream, it was more like an incubus. This ain't a movie though, tell me what you think of this. Couldn't wear blue, never wore red, especially not a hat. Catch a bullet in the head, kept my head down when I walked to class. And I left a little early and we got home fast. Locked up the pad, had bars on the window pane, pushes in the cars on the corner with the crack cocaine. Picked up the six, my life was great. Goombas and bricks were my escape, and I kept on leveling, kept improving. But most of all, I just had to keep on moving.
Keep on moving. Moving. Come on. I'm moving. Come on. Oh, yeah. Keep on moving. Yeah, JD. Keep it rocking, bro.
Stayed strong for me and my brother. I love you.
Word, that's JD Nero. Keep moving. My bad, that was Dr. Aqua. I apologize for that. Dr. Aqua, keep moving. Yo, that track is dope. But so wasn't the first one. Turn It Up by JD Nero. It's pretty dope. Pretty dope. I'll give y'all the weather. I'm trying to get it out before the open mic starts. Friday, this weekend, Friday night, 17 degrees, high 32, northwest winds, 16 miles per hour. On and off, snow showers this evening, breaks in the overcast later, low 17 Fahrenheit, winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, chance of snow, 30%. So sick of snow. Although we didn't have as much as we could have, but man, and it ain't June yet because I've seen it snow up until May. Saturday, 6, high 30, low 15 degrees, mostly sunny, 0% chance of rain, northwest winds 14 miles per hour. Sunday, we got a sunny day, high 35, low 16, 1% chance of rain, winds northwest 9 miles per hour. That's your weekend weather. Stay warm, still gotta wear a jacket. You ain't gotta do anything, but I'm just saying, I'm gonna be wearing my winter coat with a couple other jackets underneath, with some long johns. Keep a brother warm. That's right. I hope y'all doing well tonight. Hope things going good for you. And for those of you that's struggling out there like myself, you know, sometimes we gotta struggle until that opportunity comes. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, as long as we're doing what we gotta do, As long as we're doing what we got to do, that opportunity will come. So don't give up. Don't give up. Like my brother said, keep on moving, keep on moving, keep on moving. I'm gonna rock this one right here. You guys haven't heard him in a long time. Gotta let this program update. Give me a second. Don't y'all hate him. Y'all gotta do something. And your program be like, yo, I'm not ready yet. You're like, what you talking about? Talking about you're not ready yet. Man, you better do what I asked you to.
This song is dedicated to all the folks in the struggle. My grandmother, Mandy Bell Dixon, my auntie Samantha, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that's doing it and trying to make it, you know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Yo, yo. Just wanna see you. Come on, come on. Wanna see you. Yo, this ain't coming from nobody special, but don't give up, dog, cause I ain't gonna let you. No need to lecture.
Yo, that's my man D. LaBrie.
But like Pop, I bet you can get knowledge.
It ain't easy.
Peep the text in Malcolm X's autobiography.
Featuring San Quinn and Kiana Bay.
Bruce Saga, G, that was college to me. It taught me that this country ain't giving no apologies for hanging black folks like apostrophes. Honestly, it just bothers me. African American policy, democracy. Hell no, not for me. I'm a king, but these cops try to bribe me. Kill another, probably me. Just wanna see you. Come on, come on, come on. Wanna see you. First time my head, making my own bed. I even times believe whatever it's saying. It's not peaches and cream in the ghetto, reaching for a dream. Diamonds and fame. It's not as sweet as it seems. Easy to achieve without stumbling, falling, getting back up, walking, toward balling. I was 6 seconds in the room, eating with my hands, didn't have a silver spoon. All the understand simple thoughts of a fool or a rhythm from. Without a tool, live life without rules, regulations, and boundaries. Top of the game now, support my family. Check for combo and expected temptation. Keelan bread, queen wreck in the nation. Pressure makes diamonds, pressure bust spikes. Pressure on the rock, I'ma show you a lot. Just wanna see you. Stick to the plot. It's dead right. Come on, come on. Wanna see you. So what you gonna do then? So what you gonna do then?
So what you gonna do then?
Stand and defend. The Prince and Queen got plans to win. Man, I can't pretend I don't feel the pain and feel the strain. Will sunshine kill the rain? Cause this dark cloud follows me. Will the hood just swallow me? We all grow up in poverty. Owning properties an anomaly. Ask Grandma LeBrie on Holly Street. We can't get over the hump like black eyed peas with this crab in the bucket mentality. So I'ma just sit back, give back to the seed, back to the street, spit back to the beat. That's yours to keep. Feel more to the D. And don't sleep. Just wanna see you. It's head rock. Come on. Wanna see
Let's just get into it. You don't want to, but you got to do it. No need to hate, just keep it moving. This is the way we keep it grooving. It's day and night, it doesn't move it. You be you and I'ma be me too. And we can make paper comfortable. The free and tan clean for that option.
I guess they thought we super oddly toward a piece of the pie. Keep our hands down, cause we was never reaching the sky. Break out the hockey so we know we need to stay in our places. Like dangerous American dream in our faces. Only way to get on was through Memphis and black faces. We ain't bringing in it when we catching the cases. The history was complicated, but the plan was basic. Everybody get this. Like myself, drugs out, soul. The cars out there, cause that's all it knows. So much rage and bachelors that we don't know. Lack the wisdom and patience of previous generations, but we the kids that growth is full of country history and make it. And you can't escape this because you're business teachers. Yeah, our ancestors, but we got their kids. So we want to keep rising regardless of what they did. It ain't easy, but it's necessary. Or else they win. We got strength over into every fiber of our spirit. So bring something to resistance and it's just a message from Kiana dealing free and San Quinn.
I wanna give a shout out to hip hop's greatest, Tupac Shakur. You know what I'm saying? And Richie Rich for the inspiration on the hood. This how we doing it though. Yeah. You know what I mean?
My man D. LeBrie. Yeah, that brother's doing it real big out in Korea. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, yo, I wanna pop this one right here for you. I know y'all know LOG and the Bulldogs. This is Darren L. Miller. I'll Skype you.
Let's go, girl, I Skype you, cause I like you. Damn, I like you. I like wife you. Arrogant 69. No, I'm not hard to find. You can Skype me anytime. Look, just you're on my mind. Being lonely, it's a crime. I'll save you in the nick of time. Up, and away. Here I come to save the day. Doesn't matter where you stay. Doesn't matter where you're at. You can be a B, C, C, C. I'm a Mac girl. I'll Skype you. Cause I like you. Girl, I'll Skype you. Cause I like you. Girl, I'll Skype you. Cause I like you. Come here, girl, sit still. Let me come on your DSL. Damn, I love your DSL. Go ahead, girl, play yourself. Me and you, we're by ourselves, and we don't need nobody else. Listen, girl, I'll make you sweat all over the internet. Faster than a speeding jet. I'll appear and make you wet. Tell your boyfriend have respect, cause next time I'll be on deck. Drop that zero. Get this hero. Zero. Germany, Japan, Russia, Switzerland. Doesn't matter, I'll be your friend. You can take me in London. Girl, I'll Skype you. Cause I like you. Girl, I'll Skype you. Cause I like you. Girl, I'll Skype you. Cause I like you. Girl, I'll Skype you because I like you.
Boy, I'll Skype you because I like you.
Girl, I'll Skype you because I like you.
Boy, I'll Skype you because I like you.
Girl, I'll Skype you because I like you. Girl, I'll Skype you because I like you. Girl, I'll Skype you because I like you.
It's my now. It's my now.
Yo, that's a club banger right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a real club banger. Man, you know, I'm having all types of problems tonight. I want to get this right for people start coming into the open mic. That's right. Oh, that's right. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Hoping you're keeping your head up, taking it easy. So there's a couple of things I want to talk to y'all about before we get started. So one of the things I've been posting about in the last couple of days is chronic kidney disease. Now, a lot of people don't know that they have it until it's way too late. But I want to encourage all the brothers out there, man, to keep up to date with your health, man. See your doctors, go check it out, because you don't want to find out you got chronic kidney disease until it's too late. Some of the things that really create chronic kidney disease is diabetes and high blood pressure. I know a lot of us like to eat a lot of salt, what we cook our food in. Um, we like to eat the skin on the chicken, all that, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Whatever we do, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to check our eating habits. I was thinking about something, man. I was thinking about when our ancestors was in slavery, right? We call it soul food, food that they ate and took in. But when you look at some of that stuff, man, like that stuff just clogs the arteries and really, hurts. It's really bad. And some of it's good, like the greens and stuff like that. It's good to a certain point. Like they say, anything that in excess is not good for you. So we really got to check like how much we eat, so on and so forth. And I'm going through that right now. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with stage 3 chronic kidney disease. And I'm putting it out there because, these are things that that could be preventable if we just communicated with each other. If our communities, communicated, with the young ones, coming up, you know what I'm saying? So, I just want to communicate with the brothers out there, man. Take care of your health, man. Go see your doctor. Get your tests done, because you ain't doing nothing but hurting yourself, you know, if you're not getting checked. You might be thinking, you can escape something, but the reality is you're not escaping anything. Your family loses when they lose you too early. Your children loses. So if you love them, you get checked out. If you love yourself, you get checked out. You know what I'm saying? So get your test. And if you do find out you got chronic kidney disease, man, get on it, man. Do the necessary thing to make changes that you got to make. I'm doing the best I can. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things I used to don't even eat no more, man. And some of the things are impossible, feel like they're impossible. to let go, but I continue to work at it. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you the last time I went out to a fast food restaurant. And it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? And but I'm grateful. You know, things can always be worse. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, thank y'all for letting me share that information with you. Um, the other thing too is like when you can catch so stage 3 kidney disease is not curable, but you can slow it down. You can slow down the progression through eating right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely working on that. And want to give praises to the Creator for giving us the ability, the minds to be able to find these things out, the ability to be able to help ourselves. So I hope that helps somebody. Pass on the information, look it up. You know what I'm saying? And encourage your brothers to get checked. All right, and there's brothers everywhere, no matter where you at, no matter what hood you live in, no matter what color you are, no matter what culture, no matter what music you like. Take care of yourselves, man. Your people love you. Hey, what's up, Mr. Becker? How you doing tonight? You're on mute, sir. I'll mute your mic so we can hear from you. Mr. Becker, you in the house? Jonathan, how are you just gonna hop on and then be out like that? Let's bother Jerry. See if I can get him on the phone. Hey, Jerry, you know what tonight is? You know people want to hear your voice, bro.
Oh yeah, man. I lost track of time, man. I got you on my radar, man. I didn't realize that it was that you were starting on time and shit.
I always start on time, and people listening to you because you're on the air.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna plug into you.
Don't try to sweet.
Last week.
Yeah, no, it's different, but it's the same as the week before. Last week, yeah, it was the same as the week before. Last week was the International Black History celebration.
Yeah, last week was the extravaganza.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same as the week before.
Yes, sir.
It's on my radar, man.
All right, cool. All right. Bring it with you. Invite us all in.
All right.
All right, good.
Be in touch.
Good. Be good to see you. I'm trying to guilt somebody else into coming on. Who can we guilt? Feels like it's gonna be one of those nights, man, where it's just me picking things to talk about, picking poetry. Feel like going to sleep. Follow Mr. Sean.
Please leave your message for
I'm not leaving a message. You know what time it is, bruh. You know what time it is? You know what time it is? You know, I know people with poetry, man, that are so dope, right? And it's like, yo, you gonna come on and read? They're like, well, no, I don't think I sound that great. I'm like, are you serious? Did you just say that to me? Well, I ain't gonna lie. I wonder what happened to Jonathan. Mr. Becker's back. How you doing, Mr. Becker?
Good evening, Maurice.
How you doing, Mr. Becker?
I'm still here,
You want to pull your phone up? I can't hear you.
dealing with
If you
anxiety,
want to pull
dealing
your
with
phone up, bro,
depression,
because we can't really
dealing
see
with
your face.
things.
Yeah, you gotta stay back that way. When you come closer, your nose and stuff gets all up in the camera. There you go. There you go. You look so handsome that way. All
Appreciate
right.
that, Sue.
But I can't hear you though. I'm not sure what's going on. We got Mr. Becker here. I'm gonna play some music. Play some music.
Uh, I don't know where I put those earphones.
It's called One of Them
Oh, here they are.
Days.
Here they are.
This is by Link.
The recognition deserved when I flow in the song. Until then, I'm holding on strong when both thumbs remaining calm while the cataracting post-bomb attack. Always going hard, whatever the cost. The border train of thought until I get my message across. Screw a knife, man, the pen's the best weapon I've got. Killing beats and I don't care whether I ever get caught. One of these days I'll meet someone that shares my tender love and passion for these beats and drums, and we'll be steady up class until the reaper comes. Going head on into action every week in a month, but I got plenty of friends. I'm showing love to the end, cause they be there with helping hands when the trouble begins, and that's the most important thing, to get your feet on the ground. Born alone, but I surrounded with my people in town. It's like until I can see the dopest song. Move beyond the glass ceiling, it's grown to be strong. Show all these other homies that they totally wrong. Yeah. Until then, that's what I'm focused on. Cooking up the end until the potency's gone. One of these days I'll travel the world, go to places never been in, just sit back and observe. Forget a rapper, man, you really got a bad in your nerves. Could've kept my ass on the curb instead of chasing after some birds. But I did it, now I'm mastered the verse. Tending blasphemy like stealing out the Vatican's purse. Living happily knowing it could be drastically worse. Shit, I could be anatomy in back of a hearse, right? One of these days I guess I'll decide one of the many ways to live the rest of my life. But I'm not fronting currently, I'm just investing in money. Using them to direct attention and step in directions I like to increase progression and decrease aggression. But someone forgot to mention it didn't teach the lesson to these kids, so they lack in physical and mental expression. No one's asking questions, that shit's fit the correction. Until I MC the dopest song, move beyond the glass ceiling, it's grown to be strong. Show all these other homies that they totally wrong. Yeah. Until then, that's what I'm focused on. Cooking up the antidote until the potency's gone. One of these days I'll quit saying one of these days and see the exit at the end of the maze. But I'll probably turn around and go back to the start, cause this life's obstacle is stuff I'm passionate for. Plus, along your path, automatics no fun. You gotta learn to drive to stick the stars, scratches and bumps. You're the shape of irrelevance through the fables and fellowships. If life were a piece of cake, then the plate would be empty quick. And there'd be no room for anything else. Only your beautiful struggle would have to sit on the shelf. Tell me, what's there to be your vision itself? All of your specifics blended in with everyone else. Nah, I choose expression with original spark, so I can outline my travels with original chart. And I'm developing riddles to fill the critical parts that turn me into that really silly kid with a heart, yo. And the beat goes out. Until I MC the dopest song, you be on the glass ceiling, it's grown to be strong. Show all these other homies that they totally wrong, yo. until then, that's what I'm focused on. Cooking up the antidote until the potency's gone.
Jonathan, what's up, man? Let's check out your sound. You're on mute. Open up that mic so we can talk.
Okay. I unmuted the mic.
Man, I can't. No, I can't hear you. Hold on, let me make sure it's not me. Could be me. No, I got on internal speakers.
Can you hear me now?
Let's see.
Hello? It says that I'm speaking.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you perfectly.
I can't hear you at all.
Really? Weird.
Are you on a laptop or you on your phone?
I'm using my phone.
You on the phone?
Yeah.
Check your settings.
My settings.
Check your audio settings. Yo, this is from an artist that I absolutely admire. Tim Bless, glad to be alive.
Glad to be alive with this moment. Take control of my life cause I own it. Having fun, making rules, staying focused. In this life.
Life.
Glad to be alive with this moment. Take control of my life cause I own it. Having fun, making rules, staying focused. In this life.
Life, destiny is the best of me. High frequency of my weaponry. This reality, principality. I soaked up, right many means. I love them, like I love the seven seas. I love them, like the best memories of this moment. Beyond fantasy, like the hush made by trees as the leaves flutter in the breeze. Silent like this beat, without other speech. So unique, I go on my ego, let this moment breathe. I'm so thankful, so grateful. Today I'm a late low, or a sky boy, yellow bright halo. Balance in stereo.
Glad to be alive with this moment. Take control of my life cause I own it. Having fun, making rules, staying focused. In this life. Glad to be alive with this moment. Take control of my life cause I own it. Having fun, making rules, staying focused. In this life. Hypnotize me. I'll never fall. I was born to lead it. Know what it takes. I'ma live my dreams. I you know you believe. Doing 180. You should swim it up straight. Come to the light. Y'all take a beam. Taking for the rhythm. So break the routine. I know like the few you change. Just be changed. You're the only one who's controlling who you be. I'm a 201. You ain't gotta agree. I ain't got another choice, so I gotta commit. Incarcerated so long. I'm glad to be free. Watch out. Yo, I'm
No doubt.
gonna pay my own rent. Don't let's go for next. It's all good. No rest.
Feel like to be alive with this moment. Take control of my life, hold it. I've been fun, making moves, staying focused. In this life. Glad to be alive with this moment. Take control of my life, cause I own it. Having fun, making moves, staying focused. In this life.
Life.
I got a nice life. I gotta shine bright, give your thanks in the morning, waking up from the night. Take a chance, cause this moment is right. And I dance with the kids that you gave me little light. I thank you, my wife, but I'm happy with the light. I go on stage, flying like a kite. Music is my wings. Watch the stage flight when the string goes snap. Reaching new heights now. I'm proud to be alive with this moment. Take control of my life, cause I own it. Having fun, making moves, staying focused. In this life. Life, glad to be alive at this moment. Take control of my life cause I own it. Having fun, making moves, staying focused. In this life. Yes, life. in this.
Stay focused.
Yeah, in this life.
In this moment.
Take control, y'all, of your life. Manifest your dreams. Wake up in the morning, give thanks. Yes. Life. Balance. Your mind. Spirit. Body. Yes. 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 This life is yes. Yes, that is me. Corey Jones, Ian Hamill, Calvin Grace, the Everest, Tim Bless, Let's take the G, Rotary Record Studio,
Well, let's try that microphone again. How you doing? Did you try your Did you figure out your
Okay.
audio settings?
Are you okay? Can you hear me now?
Do you see you see three buttons on your phone?
Do I see what? Three.
Let me see your phone. Show me your phone. Oh, you can't show me your phone.
How can I show?
Yeah.
Good one. Good one. Good one. No.
Oh man.
But you can hear me a little bit, I guess, right?
So I'm gonna log into WebEx and I'm gonna help you out here.
Okay.
All right. So do you see
Yeah, I see you twice. I see you above and I see you below. Is that what I'm supposed to see?
the buttons down below?
Well, first of
You see
all,
the
my
buttons down
phone,
below?
on my phone
See
or on
down here?
yours? Yeah,
Put up a one if you see
but
the
my
buttons.
phone is
Put up a two if you don't see them.
on my
Nah, put up a one if you see them,
on
two if you don't. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Shake your head if you can hear me. Okay. Did you see the buttons on my phone? 1 for yes, 2 for no. See the buttons right here? See the buttons down there? The red, down and up. You see those? Okay. Do you have those on your phone?
Yeah, I have them.
Then talk to me. You gotta let me know. So yes, 1 for yes,
Yes,
2 for no. Do you see those buttons on
I,
your phone?
I can make them appear, but now I can't. It No, I can't see the buttons anymore. No, no.
It's a very slow night tonight, y'all. Doing tech support. People came on listening to poetry. We doing tech support.
Uh,
That's some very interesting poetry. So you don't see any buttons on your phone?
no, I saw them for a split
Still
second
trying
and
to
then
talk
they
to me
did.
knowing I can't hear you. Oh, 1 for yes, 2 for no. No. Okay. Mm. What do you see?
I see I see three
You know what?
rectangles.
See if you got other programs open up on your phone that uses your microphone. If you do, close them out.
Okay.
I like this and smile. I like the title.
Uh, Upside her name on my veins as long as friendship remains. Cause if I went without her, I don't think I'd be the same. Cause she keep me up, she really keep me up. And she's tired of the usual, I think she's had enough. I heard it's true that in this life you'll only find one. But you've been down so many times, I think it's time to climb up. Forget about your past and move on to better things. Cause on the inside it's really happiness she brings. I wanna see you smile, I wanna see you laugh. Cause that's what you deserve for what has happened in the past. You've had your heart broken, now it's sitting in the cast. Feeling so depressed while you sit through every class. And have I told you lately that I think you're so beautiful? Don't wanna sound corny like it's High School Musical. And it's safe to say I got some love for you. Cause that's the way you make me feel, I think I just adore you. Just keep your smile on. Yeah, just keep your smile on. Yeah, yeah. Just keep your smile on. Yeah, just keep that smile on. And when the times get tough, and when you're feeling down, I just wanna see you smile. I wanna see you frown. Keep your smile on. Keep a smile on. Yeah, yeah. And through those tough times, she just wanna stay away. Through every bumpy road, she just wanna set it straight. She got my heart racing every time she walk past. Cause she got it like that, you don't gotta ask. But for now, girl, I just wanna see you stay happy. And I'll smile back whenever you smile at me. And I'll sing the song full till my voice raspy. I hope you play it when you know your day is going crappy. You know I'll be here for you anytime you really needed me through hard times, all the way down to the pleasing weeks. For every smile that you give it, lighting up the room. Have a dead person coming straight up out its tomb. Stay away from everything that might get you pissed. Every sad time coming, I can try to fix. Last thing I gotta say is that I hope you smile. Keep me in your mind till the song goes out of style. Just keep your smile on. Yeah. Just keep your smile on. Yeah, yeah. Just keep a smile on. Yeah. Just keep that smile on. And when those times get tough, and when you're feeling down, I just wanna see you smile. I don't wanna see you frown. Keep your smile on. Just keep your smile on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just keep your smile on. Yeah. Just keep your smile on. Just keep your smile on. Keep your smile on.
Oh, man.
Can you hear me now?
So
Can you hear me now?
one thing I did want to talk about tonight is Dr. Seuss. Before I do that, let me go back to John Becker and see what he's up to. John, you get it worked out? Did you even look at your phone? Did you push buttons to see what your audio settings are? Or you just waiting for them to jump out and say, "Here I am"? Because that ain't gonna happen. You gotta push buttons, bro.
I turned off all
Go
the
to
other pro.
Google and look up um WebEx uh audio settings on, and then the type of phone you got. Text me what type of phone you got in the chat, and I'll look it up for you.
Oh,
You know I'm dope like that. What type of phone you got? We gotta get this on the road. It's only us tonight, bro.
I think I just turned on the speaker. Can you hear me now?
Okay, but what model? What's the model number of the phone? There's a lot of DJs in the world. I don't even think I want to even DJ anymore. So many DJs are. I don't even want to put no more time into it. Like a million DJs. It's crazy. We call this Jerry back because I know he's taking his time. We ain't trying to have that, right? Absolutely not. Hey Jerry, cancel being host. No, I'm still a host. See what's up with Jerry.
I couldn't find my login information from a couple weeks ago. Yes, I need a phone. I need a phone login.
The same information as before.
Yeah, fine. The last one that I used, they're telling me it doesn't work. Got a 182-421-8359. But that's not the one. And I got another like a 126-211-5145. They say that's not the one. And
Killing me, Jerry. You know that, right?
yeah, man. So just put me that little link, man, with the phone was.
Yeah, fine. Give me 1 second. I bet you got it. You just want to see me work. That's what it is, huh?
No, I have this thing, man. Everything down related to this poetic recovery, you know. And nothing I have on here is working.
Did you get it? I sent you a text. Did you get it? Did you get the text?
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
All right, then.
Yo,
Okay, I'll log on.
log on. Don't just call. Log in. Hey, yo, Jonathan, why you gotta make it this hard, bro? That's what I want to know.
Uh, what did you say?
I want $100 if I figure it out. All right, do you see anything that says audio settings or audio connections?
Uh,
Tap on the screen.
yeah, I
Tap on audio connections. And what do you see?
audio
Select
connect.
use internet for audio.
I don't see audio connections here.
Do you see use internet for audio?
Use internet for audio. No, I don't see that. Oh,
You clicked on
sound.
audio. You clicked on audio connections.
I see sound. Could it be under sound?
1 for yes, 2 for no. I can't read lips. It ain't
Um,
my fault. I can't hear you. Do you see audio connections, bro? Do you see 3 buttons when you click top? When you tap on the screen, do you see 3 tiny buttons? Do you see Do you see a red X? Close out. Do you see a mute? Do you see a mute button? All right, click. You see settings? Do you see? Do you know where your settings are? Click the settings. Click sound. And what do you see?
media volume, call volume, ring volume, alarm volume, and also vibrate for calls.
When you click sound, do you see model audio?
No.
Jerry,
Yeah,
Jerry, is that you?
yes, it is.
Maybe it's me. Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm running late. I'm coming into the meeting late.
no, because I was just listening to YouTube.
Yeah, I discovered I'm dyslexic. That's why I was having all these issues, man.
No, maybe it's me. You know what? I think it's my fault. Hold on.
Army veteran Jamie Thornton. We now revisit LFA 23 from September 20.
All right, say something. Jonathan, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
can hear you.
Say something.
Hi
Okay, yeah,
there,
we're
I'm
good.
here.
No, I can't hear you. Jerry,
Yeah.
can you hear me? I can hear my
No,
laptop. I
I'm not.
can't hear
I'm
y'all.
good. Yeah, can you hear me?
You gotta play around with your settings, John. Do you see a microphone? Like, hmm. Take out your earplugs. Take out your earphones. And try to use it regular. Try turning up your microphone sound too. Your volume.
It's all the way up, as high as it can go.
Go back to settings.
I'm still on settings. I'm still
Go
on
back to
sound.
settings.
22nd, 2000.
Did you go to settings?
Yeah.
You see app and permissions. Hey Jerry, you there? Caller 3. Please introduce yourself, caller. Wow, what a night. You're on mute, caller. Do you see app and permissions, Jonathan? Click on app and permissions. Do you see WebEx? Click on WebEx. Do you see microphone? Click microphone. Is it off? Turn it on. Is it on or off? It's on. And restart your phone.
Restart the phone.
Restart your phone. You have to log back on. Oh. Perhaps I'm not hearing you guys. But I should be, though. Jerry, can you speak? Hmm.
Hello? Can you hear me?
All right. Want to make sure everything's copacetic. Tonight's a really slow night, real boring night. I think I'm gonna call it the night tonight. Cause
All right, you still can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I wasn't getting any audio. Who else is on?
Jonathan's on. Jonathan, can you hear me, Jonathan? Jonathan is not. I can't hear Jonathan either.
I could hear Jonathan when you were telling him, how to work the controls. But I'm not hearing anybody else. I haven't heard anybody else.
Were you able to hear me?
Yep.
You was able to hear
Yep.
me, but not anybody else?
Right. I heard Jonathan earlier before you, about 5 minutes ago, I heard Jonathan. Yeah, but I haven't heard anybody else.
Hmm. Jonathan. Yo, this dude. So what's going on with you, Jerry? How was your week?
My week was good.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Tonight is such a frustrating night for me right now.
Yeah, so you're having technical issues on your end?
Uh,
So nobody else is on?
nah, just me and you. But the good thing is that whoever's listening on the website is getting they're getting a broadcast from like 3 weeks ago. So
So
ain't
what
gonna
about
lie.
Jonathan?
Jonathan, he doesn't have he's not getting any sound. I mean, he can hear us, but we can't hear him. So it's one of those things, you know.
Yeah, so what are you gonna do, man? What's the plan?
Well, we talking right now.
All right, yeah, so anyway, so you're asking about my week, right? So here's what's up. I was listening to some Herbie Hancock. He did this interview series at Harvard, like eight lectures, and I was listening to some of those, and it was really pretty interesting, pretty enlightening.
When you do these lectures,
Huh?
do you remember when he did these lectures?
Yeah, I believe it was 2018.
What were the lectures on?
What were they on?
Yep, music,
Yeah,
obviously.
well, he did eight. He did 8 of them, and the first one was about jazz and ethics, the ethics of jazz. He did another one about Buddhism and creativity.
Yeah, he did. He said something about I came into something where from the Buddhist sounds, Nam Yo Reiki Yo, he got a lot from that. And from that sound, it really helped out his jazz. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
And somebody asked him to teach him how he did it, and he was like, "Yo, learn the Buddhist chant or something like that, right?" And when the
Yeah,
person,
that's what it was. That was the Buddhist chant. And
yeah,
he broke it down syllable by syllable. But that not only helped him with his jazz, but that helped him going forward with his life in general, with his other activities. But one of the other lectures that he did was about Miles Davis, and he talked about how he was how Donald Byrd was his mentor, and Donald Byrd is the one that introduced him to Miles. But he spent a lot of time talking about how Donald Byrd brought him along, and then about how Miles mentored him. And that was kind of like the foundation of that particular lecture, when he was talking about how the creative process of jazz, the musicians, when they're doing improvisation, that they are basically they're schooling one another and in real time, you know. He made one analogy, and it makes perfect sense to me, and it helped me to understand how some of the straight ahead jazz that sounds like just like a lot of noise. He made sense of that to me, and the way he did it was he said, okay, say you're on the street and there's a couple of different things going on, you know, happening at the same time. They're not related, you know. It may be a lady walking her dog, and then it may be someone, you know, who slipped and fell crossing the street, someone else eating an ice cream cone or whatever. But he said there's different things going on at the same time that are not related, but yet they collectively create the scene of that street. And so in jazz, in improvisation, what sounds like a lot of noise to a lot of people is actually each person on their instrument doing something that's different, and they seem to be unrelated, but they're connected, and so there's a connection. And yeah, so the way he laid it out just made it so that I now have a better sense of what I'm listening to when I hear jazz improvisation, whereas before it just sounded like everyone was doing something entirely different. There was no connectivity between what was happening. There was no rhythm, you know. And so basically one of the things that he was saying is that you have to connect. It's your job to make these connections. They're there, they're not apparent, and you have to work to understand them. And that's the reason why jazz is not accessible to a lot of people, because they hear music, and what they're accustomed to hearing in typical music is a melody, a composition, something that's laid out for you, something that's spoon-fed to you. And but with jazz, it's not that way. You have to make an effort. You have to go to it and do some work to plug into it. And so that's why jazz musicians complement each other, and that's why they understand each other, where a lot of other people and even other musicians aren't with it, you know, because they're accustomed to music being laid out for them, you know, where you don't have to do nothing, you know, it's a passive thing. Jazz improvisation, like life in general, is not passive. You know, you have to reach into it, and as you do that, you get something out of it. So yeah, it was really deep, man. I mean, there's a few different points that he made relating it to Buddhism, to his creative process, to Miles's mentorship of him, and it was just really enlightening. I would highly recommend checking that out. Each lecture is about an hour long.
I was gonna say, you said something. Jazz is about what you put into it. And I was thinking, like, I can't quote you verbatim, but I would think that's true for any genre. You know what I'm saying? Once you really get deep into it, right? You really connect to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at James Brown. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm pretty sure some of his music has roots in jazz. You know what I'm saying? But you can also tell that I mean, he did some soul searching for that.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the difference with James Brown is that a lot of people, all they get from James Brown is just the funky beat and the funky rhythm, you know, which is cool. But as you're saying, it runs a lot deeper than that, you know. And if the rhythm, the funky beat and rhythm, that's spoon fed to you. That's in your face, you know. And if that works for you, and you don't feel or understand or realize that there's more to it, then that's what you get from it, you know. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, well, that's, you know, anybody can do that. It's just a few chords. But as you're saying, it's like with anything in life, is that what's apparent is on the surface, and that might feed you. That might be all that you need, you know. But if you choose to venture deeper into it, there's much more. It's about something entirely different in a lot of cases, you know. And it's not just true with music, it's true with, you know, spoken word, it's true with, well, hip hop is a prime example of that, right?
Yeah.
So people listen to hip hop, myself included, and it's like, well, you know, it's like kind of all over the place, you know. I mean, there's no coherent flow to it, you know. It's just like a lot of disjointed, you know, phrases and stuff. But for people who really take time to understand that genre, yeah, everything that's sampled goes to, it's a tip of the hat to another musician, to an artist, to a poet, you know, everything, all those pieces that make up hip hop come from somewhere, you know. And so it's misunderstood because people, they skim off the top, and they can kind of get a little bit of a groove or rhythm from it, but they're not down with, you know, with the message.
You talking about hip hop?
I think that probably Public Enemy probably did more than most other hip hop bands to make it known that, yeah, there's a message here, you know.
Well, I wouldn't say they did more than other bands, but I mean, I know they did. They daggone sure did their thing, but I don't think hip hop is misunderstood at all. I mean, I think most people know that hip hop is controlled by the music labels, right? Like artists don't really
Okay,
control.
now hold on. Now, when you say the music labels, are you talking about it's controlled by the main music labels?
Yeah, when you look at what's on the radio, yeah, like most of those
But
artists,
that's not true, though.
it is true.
But that's not true.
What are you talking about? Yo, most
Because
of those artists, no, hold on, let me finish. Hold on, let me finish because you need to do some research, bro. Many of the artists that are signed with these music labels do not control their content. If you want to be able to control your content, man, like Michael Jackson, you know, before he died, he got to a level where he can control his own content because he made all that money, right? But when you first sign with a record label, right, and then for years in, if you don't have money where you can get your own producers and stuff like that, right, and have your own label, you're stuck with what the label wants you to sound like, so they can market you. You're not going into a label talking about this is what I want, this is how I want society to see me. Absolutely not. The only way you're doing that is if you're working with if you're an independent artist and you're working with an independent label.
okay, so a question. So what about Def Jam?
It's the
All
same.
right, that started as an independent label, correct?
Yeah, but Russell
And then
Simmons,
what did it become?
they're huge. They're huge, but even still, like if you ever did you ever read this? Did you ever read any of the stories about Def Jam? Russell Simmons
No, that's why I'm asking you.
before Run
Because
DMC was before Run DMC. Hold on. Let me look this up.
so they started out as an independent label,
Yep,
correct?
yep.
So that the artists were not under the tyranny, so to speak, of Columbia Records or
That's not always
any
true.
of the other labels.
That's not always true, because so let's say
Say Polydor, that was James Brown's label, correct?
yeah, I don't really know much about his relationship with the label, but I'm pretty sure that so one way that it works too, right, is let's say you created a record label, right? You don't have a lot of money, right? But let's say you're working out the trunk of your car, you're selling a lot of records, right? Or back in those red days, it was records. A couple years ago, it was like CDs. Now it's like downloads, right? So let's say right now you're on SoundCloud, right? You get 500,000 downloads, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, someone who doesn't understand the business will go and sign with a major label because now they're like, oh man, I can be heard by millions of people. But it's like you got 500,000 downloads, right? They're steadily growing, you're making money. Why would you go and stifle yourself, right? So let's say Sony picks them up, right? Do you really think Sony is gonna let them choose how they market themselves? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying?
Unless
Unless nothing.
unless you are a superstar.
Unless nothing. I don't care if you're a superstar coming from one label and you're going into Sony. No, Sony's not going to allow you to market yourself. You'd have to be, no, I don't even see it happening. They would sit down, they will rebrand you, right? Because now you're on their label. And I think after some time, yes, but I don't think going right off, because Sony will want people to know that you're on their label now. You know what I'm saying? It's a new brand, right? It's like Oreo cookies, right? Who owns Oreo? Nabisco. Let's say Kellogg bought Oreo cookies. Now, Oreo cookies have a distinct look, right? So Kellogg would be like, okay, we're going to keep the packaging because we want people to see it. But I guarantee you they're going to change it up a little bit so that people know it's Kellogg's now. You know what I'm saying? So that they'll take off the name Oreo and put Kellogg's. Or they might keep the name Oreo, right? But they're gonna put Kellogg's someplace, right? Why? Because Oreos is that superstar, that super duper star that you're talking about. You feel me? If they change the branding too much, people not gonna be able to know what it is. But they're gonna change something so that people know that Kellogg's own that now. You feel me?
They're gonna put their brand on it.
Yep, they're gonna put their mark on it. You feel what I'm saying?
And
So
it's just like in the old West, right? It's just like the cattle ranches, right? When you have a if they buy a herd, if they buy 100 heads of cattle from somebody else, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna brand each one of them, cows and shit, literally. And so that's what the brand is. But if you are an artist and you know your worth and you sign up with Sony, if you don't have the wherewithal to understand at this day and age how the system works, then
I disagree. I don't even know what you're gonna say.
I'm talking about if you're a major artist and you sign with a label.
Well, it depends. Like
you give up like Mariah. It happened to a lot of people. It happened to Mariah Carey. It happened to Prince. You said Michael Jackson, because he had all this money, he could create his own label. But before he did that, Motown is one of the biggest. They're part of the industry. Motown does what every other record label does. They brand you, and basically you belong to them.
Right.
It's like a neo-slavery thing, man.
Right, and it's, well, I can't say that because you get paid. Now the question is, how much do you get paid? Slavery, you didn't get
okay.
nothing.
So what? Well, that's a big question. That's a big question, because what you're getting paid amounts to crumbs.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing.
So you're not really getting paid. You're getting compensated. But you're not getting paid.
But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference, though, right? You ready? People willingly go into those bogus contracts, though, right? Because they're looking at the stardom and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're getting taken around. You know what I mean? The record labels come in with a nice car, all these females and stuff like that, right? And people get sucked up into all that stuff, right? You've seen the movies, man. You know what I'm saying? What was the name of that movie? Not Motown. The other black-owned record label. Stack Records. Was it Stax?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like people get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? It's like sports athletes, right? They the college coaches come out, you know what I'm saying, woo them with like money and cars, but they're not supposed to, but they do it anyway, right? They don't know what to expect, right? You know what I'm saying?
And that's the problem, though, man. That's the problem, right? So I could see back in the day. The same thing happens with, like, well, you said athletes. Boxers. But here's what I'm saying, though, is that we as black folks, this day and age, we know what that game is. We know that that's the game, right? And so basically, it's kind of like a new version of when the Dutch came to the Isle of Manhattan, and they gave like trinkets and basically bought the island for like, I don't know, $24 or some crazy shit, man. But all I'm saying is that we are no longer in a state of ignorance as to how the system runs. You know what I mean? And so if people have talent, and basically we're getting played. I guess it's a thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Black folks are always talking about, getting over and running game and hustling,
What's the
But
one?
at the end of the day, it's these geeks
Which one?
from, high school or from grade school that go to business school, and they may not be good basketball players, but they go into a sports management program,
It's
and
not
they're
even.
the ones buying and selling and trading, athletes, like they're cattle. You know what I'm saying? And so again, it's just another level. It's not, from my point of view, it's another level. It's another layer of how Black people allow themselves as a race to be subjugated for, because, oh yeah, we like these shiny objects, and these shiny cars, and yeah, we like to pay, to take these, to show that, we're living large and shit, man, but it's really, I think that a lot of artists eventually gain control, like Prince did. He eventually regained control of his own domain, and so I think that we all, but it happens to us. I mean, it's like me. I go to work every day. Anyone who goes to work every day, you go to work for a company and they pay you X amount of dollars, but for every dollar they pay you, how much are they making off of what your labor? You know what I'm saying? So it all washes out to the same thing, man.
But what's one of the things that are motivating these people? Poverty. But let's look at this, right? You know what I'm saying? I think we have a good time when we come here, right? But you don't see thousands
Yeah,
of people. You don't see thousands of people coming out here. Why? Because they're living in the hype of things, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're
you,
living in the what?
the hype of things, right? Like, people believe
Okay.
I'm gonna get rich, this and that. Most people are not rich, bro. Most artists I've ever met in my life, man, even world famous DJs, bro, got a 9 to 5 job. You know what I'm saying? I met a DJ from freaking Public Enemy, man, that was behind like several hits that they made. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's got a 9 to 5 job, bro.
You know the artist Guru, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a line in one of his songs in his Jazzmatazz, one of his Jazzmatazz albums. Yeah, he had one of the lines in the song is like, oh yeah, so here comes the spotlight, but still stuff is not right because I got to pay my rent by 5 o'clock tonight. I got a CD out, but I'm still riding the train. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. But here's the thing, from my point of view, right? Is that even the people, or a lot of the people who make the big bucks, who get beyond that hand to mouth stage of things, where they're truly living large, they get consumed by that, man, and before you know it, they wind up back on the block, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yo, check this out. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's look at another aspect of it too, right? So in the music industry, how are women treated? And I'm changing this because
Wait a minute, what did you say? How are women treated?
yeah, I'm changing this because it's Women History Month, right? You know what I'm saying? But so like, in celebration of Women's History Month, let's talk about let's talk about it all, man. You know what I'm saying? How are women treated, y'all? You know what I'm saying?
So wait a minute. Let me get clarification so I understand what you're saying.
Hmm?
How are they treated by whom?
By by executives in the music industry, by men in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? How they're looked at in society. You know what I'm saying? Let's broaden the conversation.
Okay, yeah. Well, the reason I asked for that clarification is because, yeah, I mean, as we know, that black women are really behind the eight ball in terms of racism and sexism, and they're behind, and they're getting caught in a crossfire, multi crossfire, because they're not getting respect from institutions. They're not getting respect from. We're talking women in general, or are we talking women of color?
I will say this. I will say this, right? So black women are doing much better these days in the music business than they ever have, than that they've had before. You know what I'm saying? The Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Tamar, what's Tamar's name? Braxton. I could keep naming names, man. Janet Jackson got screwed.
Well, so did Tony Braxton did as well.
Yes, yeah. I mean, and there's so many women that got screwed, man. I mean, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It is totally.
But why do you think that is?
I mean, I think people like power hungry. I think that even though as a black community we call freedom, right? We cry freedom, right? We really don't want to give up much to get that freedom. Like for instance, right? This is not music, but it sends you a good example. Dr. Seuss. I've been telling people years how racist and bigoted he is, right? Black people hated me for that. What? Are you kidding me, man? You need to shut the hell up. Right? Yo, the people that make money off this dude came out saying, yeah, he was racist, right? You know what I'm saying? And they stopped printing six of his books because of it. So why in the hell black folks, the ones who are calling for change, right? Not all of us apparently, right? But we do have an issue when some racism happens, are the first one to get pissed off when people like Dr. Seuss is called out and held accountable. That is one of the reasons why a lot is not changing, is because we can't get, we can't separate that this person's a good artist with this person being a horrible human being, right? And that if you support the art of a horrible human being, you're giving him or her the economic foundation to do horrible things to your community. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say Dr. Seuss was a horrible human being.
Bro, are you kidding me? Have you heard, bro? I guess you haven't heard any of his responses to whether or not some of his material is racist. What are you talking about?
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're referring to. I know what you're referring to. But what I'm saying is,
person because he wrote children books, man. Are you serious?
But what I'm saying, I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying, my point is that this society is racist to the core, and you will be hard pressed to find someone, a white person, who has lived prior to the 1960s that is not racist. You would be hard pressed to find someone, and you could talk. I'm talking like everyone from JFK to Henry Ford. But black people still drive Fords, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, and guess what? And guess what happens? You still have people like what happened in 2016? You had Joe Biden and freaking Donald Trump running for president, and a whole slew of other horrible people. But and guess who we got now? We got Joe Biden, right? I mean, this man could have already used executive privilege to change, what he's done with the crime bill, but he hasn't done that. You know what I'm saying? You know, the fact that we're in this situation, right? Trump and then Biden is due to the fact that we do not care about how we spend our money. I mean, let's face.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Hold on. Let me
Who in your view?
Hold on. Let me finish this point.
Who in your view could be sitting in the White House that you would find acceptable?
Bro, we could have been created another strong party already. That's the point.
No. Who today? Who today, in your view?
No, that's the
Could
point.
you see sitting?
That's the point.
Who in your view today could you see sitting in the White House that you would find acceptable?
The fact that you cannot get past the point I just made is the problem. We should not be sitting here today with this system intact. There should be a strong third party. Why? When this system was created, there was less than 500,000 people in this country. There is now over 300 million people in this country. This system is archaic, right? If there was 300 million white people alone, you damn best believe it would not be a two-party system, right? You know what I'm saying? But yet, you got poor black folks who make up most of all the black people, right? You know what I'm saying? Believing that Jay-Z somehow represents us, believing that Killer Mike somehow represents us, believing that all these other rich black folks somehow represent us, but aren't doing a damn thing. You got the LeBron James who's actually spending money to help our communities, but then you got people who really aren't doing much. You know, I got into an argument with somebody the other day, and she was like, oh, well, Jay-Z be helping out these artists and stuff like that. Listen, Jay-Z's making money. Jay-Z is not out here investing money in black communities, right? He's investing money in a business deal. Now, I can understand if you're like, oh, okay, yo, I like his business ethics because he's making money. Oh, okay. But how much money is actually going back to the artist? That's what you got to look at. You know what I'm saying? And as terms of like black folks, right? We got to get to the point where we're like, yo, do we really want to be free or not? And if we want to be free, it's not going to happen under capitalism. It's not going to happen under capitalism in America because capitalism was created, right, to be controlled by a few people and the rest starve. That is what capitalism is in the United States of America. Let me finish. In the United States of America, the political system was created so that the few can control and make the rules while the rest suffer. That is what it was created. We have to change the way that we do politics, and we have to change the way that we do business so that the most can have a decent education, can have decent healthcare.
So what you're saying is that the system needs to be changed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? So, okay, I would agree with that. However, the system is currently what it is, right?
Yep.
And so I think that basically that we have to understand the difference between someone like Donald Trump and someone like Joe Biden.
I'm gonna tell you the
wait a minute. Listen. We can find fault with anyone. My question to you a minute ago was, who in your view today would you find acceptable sitting in the White House?
Oh.
That you would not find fault with?
See, now that's a dumb
How many
question.
people? No. Give me a name. Are you talking Cory Booker? Would he be cool?
That's a dumb question because we're always going to find fault.
It's not because you're not supporting.
Jerry, do you want me to answer your question, Jerry? Do you want me to answer your question, Jerry?
Go ahead.
Cory Booker wouldn't be changed, bro. Because he's still.
I'm not suggesting he would. I was just asking you.
Okay.
What person would you see as acceptable in the White House that you would not be looking at and saying, "Oh, well, this person did this"? who would you see? Who do you see?
I think what we need to do, we need to strengthen an independent, not the independent party, but we need to strengthen a third party that represents the majority of poor people, working class people in the United States of America. And that
And do
third
you think
party,
that would be allowed?
what are you talking about allowed, man? That's the damn problem. People always talking about what they're gonna allow us to do. Man, did they allow them to freaking storm the Capitol building? Did they allow them to storm all these buildings around the freaking country? No, they just freaking did it. And here you are in 2021 talking about will they allow it? That's the damn problem, that mentality.
If I may,
It ain't about what they will allow. It's about what we want.
if I may interject
Okay,
too.
so
Hold on. Let Blessings go. He hasn't been able to speak.
Here's one of the areas in which Brother Reese and I very, 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 very much so align, because he's right and exact. The question is, who would you like to see in the White House? Just based off the idea that the White House is the premise, as in the political system of this racist, sexist, everything is country. That seat is gonna be what's changing everything. That right there is the problem, because we're looking for people to represent us, quote unquote, when we are the ones who got the power ourselves. And so instead of integrating with the system, the true solution is building the alternative. You, in mathematics, you cannot change systems, you can only replace them. You can't change a habit, you have to replace the habit. You can't, you know what I mean, you can't change things that are broken, if it, you know what I mean. So just based off of that right there, that's an unfunctioning old paradigm. And you had said, Brother Jerry, that if you'd be hard pressed to find people, find Caucasians pre 1960s that aren't racist. Well, that's still the fact now, honestly. That's still the fact now. It ain't nothing to do with who will allow what, this, that, and that. No, it's really all about what we decide to do and what we stick with. And that's another thing I'm proud to be on this platform, because people can see it as insignificant, but a lot of people do see it as significant, because Poetic Recovery is in fact building that alternative. But we don't have to go into mainstream everything, because mainstream only means that we as Black people are going in as in a subservient position. I'm gonna kick it right there. Thank you.
Hey Jerry, I had to mute you because I wanted Blessings Divines to be seen on video when he was speaking. I muted myself as well, so it wasn't just you. So you want to unmute yourself? No, I agree with you, Blessings. Look, some of the best ran countries in the world have a parliament. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to look at something like a system like that, where the Republicans and Democrats don't have freaking all the say. I mean, look at how McConnell played the Democrats, right? They played the Democrats big time. Oh yeah, I don't like what Donald Trump did. So what they pretty much did his bidding. And when came that time to vote, what happened, right? Although Donald Trump was a madman in what he did, right? I cannot vote, to hold him accountable, based upon the fact that he's no longer president. Now, here's the stupid thing about that whole thing, right? The Democrats went in knowing that the Republicans wasn't going to support based upon he was no longer president at the time. So wouldn't creativity kick in and be like, okay, cool, right? However, right, let's make the vote about whether or not he was immoral in his tenure as president. Let's make the vote about this and this and that. And then what we will do is create the Trump law, meaning that when a president is immoral and then goes into civilianhood, right, he cannot have the pleasantries of an ex-president, right? But nah, they didn't know how to be creative. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? And then you have all these old people, and I have no problem with old people like being in power, but when it's controlled by mostly older people that have these archaic ideas, right? They're not accustomed to change. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't have that many old people who are hard pressed to hold Trump and all these people, you know what I'm saying, truly accountable. I mean, let's get real, man. Like the way that they're talking about the people that stormed the Capitol. If that was black folks that stormed the Capitol, not only will a lot of them have been murdered, right? But how would they be talked about in the media? We would be getting dogged. These thugs join these, this and that. And I'm not saying that some of that don't happen on social media, but you don't hear the news talking about them like that. Come on, man. Like, and so the problem is that like we are not investing in alternative sources, right? Which we have to. I mean, let's get real. Sean just showed up and it's like what? 9:35, blessings came late. Like we don't give a shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And when we don't give a shit, how in the hell are other people gonna give a shit? They're not.
Excuse, can I make a comment?
Go ahead.
Can I bring this back to something that we were talking about a little bit ago?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So the subject came up about how you brought the subject up about women, about how women are treated. But what we were talking about before that, we were talking about like the industry, kind of like the record industry, and how minority artists, whether they're musicians or athletes, if you want to call it athletes.
We're not the minority.
So we were talking about how the system kind of dangles something out and something shiny out in front of them, knowing that they're going to go for that. You mentioned poverty as kind of one of the things that people were struggling with, and that's why these things that get dangled in front of us are irresistible, because we're just trying to survive, and but I don't really buy that. But anyway, my point, what I'm trying to say here is,
whenever you hear a person rap, what do they talk about? Their cars, their money, their bling. Come on.
That's because there's an audience that wants to hear that. There's an audience that's going to pay. That there's people that are paying to hear that.
Why? Because rich sells. Being rich sells, right? And that's what they want.
Poverty sells.
What?
Poverty sells.
Are you kidding me?
I'm dead serious.
What part? Who do you know that is in the industry that dresses like a homeless person, talks about living on the street and this and that, and is getting support?
Pretty much everyone in the industry.
That's a lie.
What are they talking about? What gives rappers credit their credit?
When they talking about being on the street, they're talking about selling drugs and making mad cash. Right? They're glorifying the street life, right? It's not even the street life, because let's get real. Most people I know that have been on the street have not had to kill anybody, right? I know a lot of people that I've heard a lot of people that have been shot, yes, but most people that have been on the street have not gotten killed, have not, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have, but the majority have not. You know what I'm saying? That's not talked about. You know what I mean? I will say, I believe that everyone that have been in the streets have suffered to some capacity. I will say that.
What gives rappers credibility? What makes rappers legit?
I mean, it depends on what, honestly.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
what makes rappers legit?
I'm answering your question. How are you going to ask me again when I'm talking? Right?
Okay, go ahead.
Rappers start talking about weed, talking about women's booties, drinking, right? But it also depends on what market, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm going to say that because I'm going to be honest with you. A brother can talk about women's rights and all that, and he ain't going to get much support at all by a lot of women I know, right? But yet they'll be all mad though when you call them hoes and bitches, right? And be like, yo, That's wrong, you know what I'm saying, if they're feminists or activists, right? But if you talking about respecting women and stuff, they'll be the last people to show up at your show. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, what's
So look at KRS-One. He's like a he's someone that represents the positive side of the game. And he's made a good living. I mean, he could
I
sell
mean,
out
you
most
know that
venues.
do you know that for sure?
What do you mean?
That he's made a good living? I mean, from the
Well,
outside, we could say
he's made a living. I don't think he has to work a 9-to-5 job.
You don't think, but do you know for sure? He might have a 9-to-5.
Does he?
I'm saying, I don't know. Do you know him like that? I mean, that's the thing. We make all these assumptions based upon, oh, he's got an album, or he's got this, he's got that. But we truly don't know how much money these people have brought in. We don't know their deals. You know what I'm saying? What I do know is that, like, one of the things that pissed me off about KRS-One is that he talks about all this stuff, but then he signs a deal with Nike, knowing that they're made by children in sweatshops in Indonesia. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so this is my point. This is my point, man. Anyone who comes, okay, let me put it like this.
What you about to make another
Mother
excuse?
Teresa. No, Mother Teresa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, by most people's account, Mother Teresa is like, you know, a good person.
Hold up. You mean by
right?
the account of those who go to Catholic Church, who know that their children are being raped and molested, and still go to Catholic Church? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So the reason I bring up Mother Teresa is
I'm glad you did
because it's because most women that become nuns have lived a shady life. You know,
most women who have become nuns, a lot of them have been abused by the Catholic Church, right? Look at how many of them have been raped, you know, at the Vatican, bro.
Well, my point is this, is that anyone who is putting out something positive, you're going to find another side of that person.
Brother,
and I brought up Mother Teresa. I brought up Mother Teresa just to say that for all the good that she has done, I don't think that she has really. I don't think that she.
Bro, the good that she's done, bro. Orphanages. How many children get raped in orphanages, bro? You know what I'm saying? Okay, good done. How about she's working for this trillion-dollar industry? How about instead of taking these kids from poor countries, right? Who she works for the institution that have impoverished those countries. How about, if you want to be considered good, how about speak out against that industry that's paying you well, right? So you can go around the world and act all innocent and shit, right? How about get that institution to invest in those countries without getting the damn thing back? How about that? Go ahead.
Well, let me ask you.
Next rationalization. That's why we're still enslaved, bro, because that mentality. But go ahead.
All right. See, so I guess my question to you is this, man. Who are your heroes, man? Who are your heroes?
Bro.
Who are good people in your view?
My heroes aren't perfect, right? They're fallible, right?
Who are they?
Dr. King, right? I know his fallacies. I know he had issues with women, right?
What do you mean?
It was put out there that he was a womanizer.
Well, so most black preachers are, though, right? I mean, that goes with the turf there.
But, you know, I think that but here's the deal, though. Like, so there's one thing in having flaws, bro, right? That's one thing, right? But there's another thing when, like, you're hurting so many people to keep up a freaking idea.
Okay, so MLK is a hero. Who else? How many people, in your view?
Malcolm X.
Okay, so he's one.
Oh, matter of fact, excuse me.
Who else?
El Hajj Malik Al Shabazz is his name because he did his pilgrimage, right? And
Malcolm X.
Yeah, he did his pilgrimage to Mecca, and when he died, his name was El Hajj Malik Al Shabazz.
But he was a hustler.
Yeah,
he was a hustler in Boston
not when
and
he
in New
died.
York, right?
Not when he died. That's when he was a kid, bro. That's when he was a kid.
He wasn't a kid. He was a grown man when he was hustling in Boston and in New York. He was not a kid.
How old was he, man?
What's a grown man?
How old was he? 20, 21? Bro, he was a kid. Right?
20 and 21?
Hold on, let's talk about this. His family was taken away from him. His father was murdered by the freaking Ku Klux Klan, right? He had no community. I don't know if you know what it's like being ripped from your family and thrown into the streets and having nothing and no community. So don't come to me with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? This brother went to jail, found Islam, right? Something to change his life. I mean, I have my Islam's and Christianity, and I know some of my Muslim brothers are frustrated with me, but right, he changed his life, man. You know, the Nation of Islam, and I don't mean to offend you, you know, brother, blessings, right? But Malcolm X built the Nation of Islam. No disrespect to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but it was Malcolm X's charisma, right, that brought many people into the Nation of Islam, right? What he built over 13 mosques. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you say to someone who says Malcolm X preached that the white man was the devil?
What does that mean? The white man's the devil? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You make it sound as if it's a bad thing.
No, I'm just asking you.
What do I say to that? Well,
yeah.
I would say let's look at the time that we're talking about. Let's look at the era that we're talking about, where and now it's bad, but at that time, man, black folks were still being lynched, right? Killed by the police, couldn't get jobs, couldn't get nothing, being turned around in every which way. You know what I'm saying? So like, what's the devil? When you give a description of the devil, right? And you got a group of people that's in power and that are doing the things that you would characterize as a devil, right? And then you put that label next to them based upon their actions. Are you wrong to describing them and their behavior versus the way they describe a group of people by their skin color who have not done any of the things that they're saying that we've done? But that's okay. Come on, man.
So that holds true.
I'm
that
saying,
holds true today.
I'm saying to you
today because
I'm saying to you that any
white things are happening today.
I'm saying to you that any white man that accepts bigotry, right, that accepts acts of bigotry, racism, sexism, oppression, any act of oppression that's quiet, that gains from it in any old way, right, is a devil. And not just
that was including
and not just
including James. So you would put James Brown in that category too?
Not just a white man, but any black man that does the same thing, Asian man, right? Any man or woman, right, that benefits from the oppression of another human being is a damn devil. And I mean,
that would include James Brown.
And I mean knowingly benefits. Knowingly benefits.
Wait, say that again?
Knowingly benefits.
That knowingly benefits, that positions themselves to benefit, right, from the pains of others is a devil.
Yeah, he's right. That's part of what devil means. Devil means to devalue.
I agree.
So can a person change?
Yes.
Of course.
Can a person be redeemed?
Yes.
That person should do work to redeem themselves.
But now now what does it mean to redeem? to apologize or hold on to your wealth? No, that's not redemption. Redemption
Agreed.
is taking that wealth and investing it back into the communities and the homes of the people you took it from. That's
Yeah,
redemption. The problem with black folks is that we have a slave master who wrote a damn song called Amazing Grace who did not redeem himself, but yet it's one of the most popular songs in black churches. That's the problem with black folks. You know
So,
what song? You know what song that should replace Amazing Grace? It's Tamla Mann's song, Take Me to the King.
So Amazing Grace, was it made by a black composer?
No, it wasn't made by the white. It was made by the a slave ship captain who supposedly got saved, but went back to selling slaves.
the story goes, he heard a slave singing the song. He just put words to it and he made it pop in.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's why I had. That's why I had what the 5 pen. What's that scale? The
scale.
I'm not a music person. Anyway,
So here's the thing, right? So I've heard we all have heard tales of like the slave owners who on their deathbed they free their slaves, right? And folks are saying, oh, isn't that grand of them? You know, that's not redemption to me.
Absolutely not.
You know,
I mean, it's great that they freed the slaves, but you know what? A part of that redemption would be if they said, you know, I want you to take all my possessions, and I want you split up amongst all the slaves. That's a little redemption.
Yeah, but I think that I hear what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying, and a lot of what I'm putting out to you is like kind of devil's advocate. But
bro, why would you be a devil's advocate on the side of bigotry?
I'm being a devil's advocate to ask you to look at what you're saying and to see how you justify a point that you make on one side of an argument, how you justify that on the other side of the same argument. That's what I present to you, because I hear that. Bro, I hear you presenting the same argument on different sides of an issue.
What are you talking about?
And so I question that.
What are you talking about? On what side of an issue am I? Give me an example.
His third party, I would be interested in the example because I haven't heard him. I haven't heard him do that. I haven't heard him do that yet.
Can I have an example, please? Okay.
Issue with being held
accountable. We're gonna take Bernie Sanders, right?
Let's go.
Okay. So you worked for him, not for him directly, but
that is not true. I did not work for Bernie Sanders. I was a volunteer campaign. I did not work for him.
Okay, so you worked on his behalf. Is that fair? Is that a fair statement?
I volunteered. Again, I did not work. I volunteered for the Bernie Sanders campaign, which had no direct benefit to Bernie Sanders, other than you got to understand the lingo. You got to understand the lingo.
Okay, I don't. I'm confused.
He did not benefit in a monetary fashion, which is what work would do, right? We made his name popular. We made his position popular. We made his platform popular, so that he can get the notoriety that is needed for someone to get a nod for a political position. Now, what happens?
Okay, so
no, hold on.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me explain this so you understand, right?
Okay,
that's the volunteer campaign, right? Now, what happened was, then there comes the campaign, which is vastly different than the volunteer campaign. The campaign directly benefits the candidate, right? They don't benefit monetarily, but their position benefits. Do you understand what I'm saying? That campaign can raise money, right? That money can be used to transport the campaign. That campaign can then utilize that money to spend for expenditures relating to the campaign. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but there's a disconnect. I'm still not sure. I guess what I was asking you is that you went out and devoted your time and your energy
I absolutely did.
to further his chances of being elected.
I absolutely did. What's your question?
Okay, so that's what I meant when I said that you worked for him. I didn't mean that you were on his payroll.
No, I just wanted the truth to be known. That's all.
Okay, all right. So, and that was when he was running. That was during like when Obama's first campaign was happening, correct?
Believe so, because I think Maurice, me and you, we went to New Hampshire 2015, I think, or 16.
Okay, so that would have been for the most recent election, not 2020, but the
the one after that, 2016.
Yeah.
That was like the Hillary
That was
Trump
Hillary.
thing.
Yeah, that was Hillary.
Okay, so at that point you were in his camp, maybe not literally, but you were basically you were working to promote his candidacy.
I was volunteering to promote his candidacy. Yes.
Okay, so I remember having a conversation with you a few years later and asked you if you were still supporting Bernie, if you were going to be volunteering for his campaign.
And my answer was,
and you had some negative things to say about. You said no,
right,
and you have some negative things to say.
Why exactly did I say no?
I don't know why exactly, but I remember you said no, that you were not.
So let's get to the reason why I said no. I said no because as a volunteer, right, I create all this awareness throughout Western Massachusetts, man, throughout the East Coast, to be honest with you, and in Puerto Rico, right?
Oh yeah.
And his campaign came in, ran by some white lady who just didn't give a damn, and that's why I introduced her like that, as a white lady who didn't give a damn, because when he came to, actually, let me back up, right? So, let's talk about what was happening in the campaign, in the volunteer campaign, right? So in Boston, we went up to march in Boston, right? I wasn't there for this one. So the people went up to march in Boston, right? Black Lives Matter signs were there, and there were white people there telling black people to put away the signs, right? At a Bernie march, right? And so there was arguments over there. Drupa, he was an Indian brother. Can't remember his last name. Anyway, he was like, he defended the Black Lives Matter signs and told people to keep them, right? And anybody got a problem, they would have to go through him, right? So when the campaign came through and they were hiring people for the offices, we was like, nah, man, you can't hire these people because these people are racist as hell. They didn't give a damn and they hired them anyway. Okay, so there's one, right? The white lady comes to Springfield, right? She talks to me, some Puerto Rican kids and and some young white folks, right? And we all agreed that the campaign station in Springfield should be down around Lower Springfield so that it's accessible to like people who live in poor communities, and it's on the bus line, She disagreed. She wrote to me on Facebook in one of my rants and replied to one of my rants that the reason why she put up way in East Springfield, way out there, that would take a single mom with one, 2, or 3 kids, right, an hour and a half to get to the place to volunteer to take a ride back, an hour and a half back when it's dark, right? Her reason for it was
Wait a minute,
that
wait a
it
minute. So,
was,
so
let me
where was
finish,
the
please.
where was the
Let me
campaign?
finish. Let me finish my thought, please. Right? The reason why she put it way out there was because she didn't want people to get robbed. And my response to her was that, oh, so with your stereotypical views, what you're saying is that, so it's not okay for them to get robbed down by Black and Latino communities, but it's okay for women to go up there and get raped by white men and white vans. If you want to be stereotypical, is that what you're saying? And so she got mad. She yelled at me a few minutes on Facebook, and then she erased her post, right? And my dumb ass didn't take a screenshot of it. But Juba saw it, right? He read it.
I remember that.
And so I reported all this to the headquarters, right? I called up there, spoke to a white dude. White dude said, so I want you to talk to a Black guy. His name is, and I said, well, why do I gotta speak to a Black guy? Are you saying that you, in your position as a white male, aren't able to determine whether or not this was right or wrong? He said, well, this Black guy, he represents the Black constituency. I'm like, how does he represent me? I don't even know him. That right there left a very bad taste in my mouth about the Bernie campaign, right? Because at that point, I'm not speaking to the volunteer campaign, I'm speaking to the Bernie campaign, right? So they had this Black guy call me back. I forget his name, right? He says to me, we have this conversation. He says, he didn't even care about the issues, man. You want to know what he wanted to know? Bernie was coming to speak to Springfield, and he was afraid that I was going to storm the stage. That's what his worry was. Are you going to storm the stage when Bernie gets here? I'm like, that's all you care about? You don't care about the issues that are going on? We can get to that later. When? After Bernie left, matter of fact, when Bernie came down, because you got to understand, right? I understand the difference between issues in the campaign and the candidate, right? I understand that, right? But here's the thing. When Bernie came down, the first time he came down to speak at UMass, I was on stage hyping up the crowd throughout the whole auditorium. My voice was heard. I could be seen on video, right? Escorting a Trump supporter out because the damn campaign guards didn't know what the hell they were doing, right? I used my skills as a security guard, my skills as a National Guardsman, right? And escorted him out, right? This guy was huge, and I was ready to do battle, right? So I put my goddamn ass on the line, all right? Now, after that happened, excuse me, I called the campaign again, and no one ever called me back. So I was like, all right, okay. Now, went to New Hampshire, saw Bernie, ended up getting a selfie with Bernie. But here's the thing. I had to go through almost an hour of waiting, right? Close to Bernie, and every time I got close to him, he turned to another white person. Every time I got close, he turned to another white person. I had to force him to take a picture with me and the young lady. And then she's the reason why I went to go get that picture, because she supported the campaign, the volunteer campaign that I was running, right? And I made damn sure that she was going to get her selfie. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention that she cut me out of the damn selfie and just had her and Bernie, right? So I got shitted on that year, right? So excuse my language, because it's supposed to be a family friendly. I'm kind of hot right now, right? But I'm gonna get control of myself, right? I called the campaign and I made them aware of this. You know what I'm saying? the ways I've been treated, this and that going on. So check this out. So when the campaign came into Holyoke, I had gotten this Latino restaurant, right? The campaign did not come and talk to me about utilizing that slot. They just came and took over that space.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
I had gotten this Latino restaurant, right? It was called, what was the name of it? Hey, I can't remember the name of it now. But it was on High Street in Holyoke. I had a spot in Springfield and a spot in Holyoke, right?
You talking about Fernandez?
Nah. This
The
other
same
guy.
one we did
Yeah.
for the open mics?
Yep. No.
That spot.
No. That was we did some of the open mics up on High Street, but not all of them.
Okay.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
where we had the meetings at, the restaurant we had the meetings at. Right?
Oh, so that's the place.
Yeah, she came. They can the campaign
Esperanza,
came.
I think it's called,
No,
right? Esperanza?
no. That wasn't the restaurant. That was it was a restaurant, but it was a community ran thing. And that was on Main Street. But on High Street,
Okay, gotcha.
I'm trying to remember the name. But anyway, it was owned by Jose Bao. The campaign came in and took over the spot, right? And it was like, oh well, we asked the owner if we could. I was like, the reason why you wouldn't ask the damn owner is because I made it a hopping space for the Bernie volunteer campaign. I found this spot. You knew that, and you didn't give a damn about asking a black man if you can utilize the space he created. Did you? You know what I'm saying? And you know, the white folks in that damn campaign, right? When you hold them accountable for their stuff, man, they treat you like they're Trump supporters. Seriously. So, like, when I started speaking about the issues that I had in the Bernie campaign, from the Bernie campaign and the Bernie volunteer campaign, people would say, "So you hate Bernie?" I'm like, "So you obviously don't understand how this works, do you?" Right? So this black person that you think is less than you knows more about this than you do. The Bernie campaign is not Bernie. You know what I'm saying? So what I ended up doing was I ended up running for being a Bernie delegate, and I won. Right? Went and I held my ground, and I did what I said I was going to do. Right? But I promised myself that after I was done doing my job, that I would re-educate the black community and the Latino community about what was going on within the campaign.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I believe that if I'm inviting the black community to something and I find out we're getting lynched physically or metaphorically, I'm gonna let them know that I was wrong. And that's why, because here's the thing, right? Although Bernie Bernie can't control the volunteer campaign, he actually can, right? Because if Bernie says, and here's the thing, if you care so much about bigotry and oppression, what you're going to do is this. You're going to create guidelines, right? You're going to ensure out the gate that if there's any problems, right, there are committees that are ready to respond to these issues and investigate them, right? Anybody would know this. Anybody would know this who have truly been involved in anti-racism work, right? That you set up committees to like investigate, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and I tested it out. I tested this theory. I called Hillary's campaign and I said, they answered the phone and I said, if I was involved in an issue, I'm a black man, and if I was involved in the issue of racism, is there any place to report it? Yo, I'm not, I swear on everything that I love, they were sincerely concerned. This woman's stress and this white woman's voice was like, no, this cannot be happening. It was an alertness that I did not hear at all from the Bernie campaign. You know what I got from the Bernie campaign and the volunteer campaign? Was that it wasn't anything that they can deal with right now because it would embarrass Bernie. That is what I pretty much got from the Bernie campaign. Why would I want? Why? Why would I want to support that? When Bernie in his power, look, there was a black woman who complained about sexual harassment and nobody gave a damn. And until it became popular and in the news, did Bernie respond? Is that a leader that we need? Absolutely not. That is why I will not support Bernie. Do I like his policies? I do. However, right, we can say whatever we want, but if our actions is not showing the change that you talk about, then you ain't about shit to me. Does that answer your question, sir?
Well, it sheds a lot of light, and in a word, yes, it does answer my question. But it raises one other. I'm gonna throw this out to you.
Well, hold on. Can we hear? Wait, because we've been going back and forth. Can we hear from Sean or Blessings?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sean?
Yeah. Let me see. We're talking still about the same topic.
I want us to move because it's 10, 11 p.m., man. And this is not going to happen, and it's my fault I let it happen. We're going to talk about women's issues right now. That's what we're going to do. It's 4 men on here. We're going to talk about women's issues, right? And I'm taking control of this show. It's going to be about women's issues, and we're going to get serious about this because we've done a grave disjustice to the women in our communities. We've ignored their pains and their sufferings for far too long. We refuse to change our behavior so that they can get the respect that they need, and we need to talk about this. And my question is why? Why aren't we doing what we need to do to make sure our sisters, our mothers, our aunts, our cousins, our friends are getting the just respect that they deserve just as a human being? Go ahead, Sean. Sean, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here, but you're gonna have to skip me for a moment. Give me like 5 minutes, real quick.
All right, let's go to Blessings. Blessings, you there?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Can you answer that?
Basically, why is women not respected the way they need to be?
Why aren't we doing what we need to do as men, as black men, to ensure a culture of respect in our communities?
There are a couple of different reasons, but at the end of the day, it kind of boils down to either ignorance or don't care enough. That's my general diagnosis for those who, in our communities. They don't really know or understand what's actually happening or what their role in that is, or they don't actually care, or they benefit off of it. Because it's like having women as a form of currency for a lot of people.
I agree with that.
How do we change that?
Education.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing to change that?
In my opinion, it all starts with the knowledge itself. Since knowledge is the foundation, the more you know about yourself, the more you understand who you are as a human being, the more you understand that we have more alike than alike, the more and the more you understand that as a result of that, caring for others is actually how you care about. I just worded that crazy, but when you realize the truth of the matter is that how you care for others is how you care for yourself, and you start to recognize the actual divine value of the woman, the fact that I don't care how great some dude was, I don't care if it's Michael Jackson, I don't care who the dude was, he came through the womb of a woman. You have to understand that the woman is the most valuable resource on planet Earth. That she is the reason that we are all here. That prayers are answered through the womb of the woman. She is the bringing that paradigm. You understand that a nation can rise no higher than this woman, right? And that she is the most sacred thing that we have around us, not in our possession. You have to. It takes a radical reassociation of words, of concepts, and of ourselves. And you can never say you respect yourself as a man if you don't respect the woman around you. And I love some of the stuff you be saying about that, like, dudes be using that B word a bit too much. You like, hold up, would you call your mom's dad? You're like, nah, that's crazy. Well, think about it, because if you call another woman that, then you telling other dudes it's okay to call your mom's dad. You setting her up, and I'm like, that's right and exact. So we cannot do anything without the woman, not behind us, but beside us, beside every great man. And sometimes in front of them is a great woman, not behind us. And there's really a lot to that, and there's a lot of power with that. You know what I'm saying? The nation can rise on higher than this woman. If you teach a man, you teach an individual, you teach a woman, you teach a nation, but you have to like know that, understand that, and believe that. And just the empathy, just feeling the pain. Like as a dude, like growing up, I tend to had a lot more female friends than dude friends. Not like I was, on some other stuff, but just like, yo, that's my homie. That's my friend right there. And I always get the stories about like what dudes did to them, or this creeper, another creeper is coming around, and they start hanging around me because they know I don't play that game. And it's just like hearing the stories over and over and over and over and over again. And and then the fact that it didn't really matter what color they was or what their religion was, it was just like, dang. I mean, yeah, sisters had it worse, but still, like that kind of a pain. Is that if you have a human heart and you are face to face with another human's pain, and it doesn't move you to do something about it, then that tells volumes about you. I don't want to run my mouth too much. I hope I said something of value.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sean, go ahead.
Hello.
You on mute? Yep, go ahead.
All right, all right. Yeah, I agree with a lot of the points that Blessings was saying. I agree. I think it does first and formerly start with, knowledge and, being educated. I really do believe that, me as a person, just growing up, I grew up with, two Jamaican parents that were married, still married. And for some reason, even, middle school, high school, college, I didn't really see myself with a, black woman. So then when I kind of gotten with my girlfriend now, it really changed me and molded me. And I remember when we first started going out, she started noticing like my exes and stuff like that. And she's like, wow, you have a lot of non-black women as your exes. And I was like, yeah, I was just one of those black guys that just like, the Puerto Ricans and stuff like that. And I would just tell her like, well,
Well,
in
can I just interject real quick?
yeah,
Puerto Ricans are black, bro.
yeah. But but they don't have the same. I mean, they're black, but
Bro,
okay,
their experience,
but
think about it, right? These people came over, took black folks, mixed them with white folks and other, you know,
right. Other
you
ethnicities
know,
and stuff like that, and creative. That's why
same,
you go to
same,
Puerto Rico, they
same,
have darks, lights, and
same experience. Now
Black
okay.
there are
black
some.
slave masters and Tainos.
Wait,
What did
That's
you
say
the
say?
again?
difference. It's the Taino indigenous people of that area mixed with the
Right.
black slaves that were brought over to that area, and then the white slave masters.
Yep.
Okay.
And I mean, there are some white Puerto Ricans that will claim that they're not black, but look, there are some black folks in America that would be like, I'm not black.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think it's just knowledge. Knowledge and education. Being educated and having that knowledge. Someone around you telling you, letting you know, this is not good, yada yada yada. But I think education and knowledge definitely could, help the black men, um, be appreciative more to the, our black women.
And if I may say something about that too, it gotta be a working knowledge thing, because otherwise it'd be like white folk learning about racism and nothing ever happens. So, oh wow, black people getting
Okay.
beat up by police, that's terrible. What's for lunch? You know what I mean? Like nothing ever happened.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's gotta be like a working application of this knowledge. You have to like, no, if we ain't getting this, then we dragging you somewhere. We gonna figure this thing out, because until
Got
we
you.
understand this concept, our
Okay.
future as black people is in danger.
I hear that, man. I agree. I hear that.
And Jerry, would you like to respond?
Yeah, I am, and I agree with what I'm hearing, and I think that there's two things to your question. Your question was, what are we personally doing about this? And I think it's two fronts. One is knowledge of self, and me personally not sexualizing or taking advantage of women, treating women with respect, basically, and not just treating them with respect, but actually regarding them with respect. So there's that. The other thing is of confronting other men, because we hear women degraded all the time, and if we're in a space where that's happening and we don't speak up about it, then then what does that make us? You know what I mean? And so so the short answer to your question is what I'm doing personally, is the way that I treat and regard women, and what I'm willing to do when I'm in the presence of negativity towards women. And that's where I'm at with that.
Now, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Thank you very much, Jerry, for your response. I'm gonna say this. One of the things I do to respect the black women of my community is I educate on feminism and its history of bigotry and racism, and the damage that is done in the black communities. And I know some people disagree with that, right? But you haven't really done research when and so one of the biggest problems is this: when a white man creates something, people contribute it to black men, right? And I ask, like, how can it be contributed to black men when we don't benefit from it at all? In fact, much of what white men build is from the blood of black men, or the at the expense of black men, black women, non-white people, right? And sometimes white women, you know. Um, so when white men gave black men the right to vote, right, women of Susan B. Anthony used some very disgusting language to describe black men, the leader of the feminist movement. You know what I'm saying? Very few white women responded and held her accountable, right? Um, Harriet Tubman took her, what was it, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth? I think Sojourner Truth. I mean, took a long time for her to get the feminist movement to take a position on the and Ida B. Wells. It was a very long time. It took a very long time to get the feminist movement to take up a position against slavery, right? White women stood at the polling stations along with white men, ready to lynch black men if they voted. We never got the right to vote, right? Um, so that was eventually repealed, right? White women got the right to vote in what, 1920? And once they got the right to vote, they abandoned black women. right? Even with the Me Too movement, a black woman created the Me Too movement, right? It was mostly used to hold accountable black men, right? And it's now on the face of it, it's pretty much white women, right? Holding mostly non-white men accountable, right? If they put the full force behind holding Epstein accountable, holding what's this guy, the Hollywood mogul name? You know who I'm talking about, right? Holding him accountable as they did Bill Cosby, right? You know what I'm saying? He'd be held on all counts. So I don't know if you guys looked at the numbers, but I studied the numbers for a week of how many black babies were aborted, right? And let me say this. Let me say this, right? I'm against abortion and I'm not, right? And here's why I'm against abortion is because black women have been targeted for abortion simply because they were poor, not because of any medical issues. White women targeted black women because they were poor. When you look at Margaret Sanger, the black men that supported eugenics, such as W.B. Du Bois, right? Um, there were notable black leaders, quote unquote black leaders that supported eugenics, right? But they also supported the times at 10, where those black people who had no position really didn't matter. We were collateral damage, right? So they supported these policies because they felt that it would put them in a position, right? Which is horrible. That's just wrong. That's not freedom, right? That's selling us down the river, right? So I believe it's like that saying, to protect the country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. We need to do that to the women in our community, protect them from all enemies, foreign and domestic. That means from enemies from within our communities and enemies from without, right? Um, and I agree with what you're saying, knowledge of self. Like, who am I, right? I was raped by women, molested by women as a child, raped by men, molested by men, right? Both my mom and dad were victims. My mom was a victim of the men in her family. My dad, I don't know. I don't know about this guy. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, obviously something got to him. I don't know what, right? But I know that he was also a culprit. He victimized children in our family. You know what I'm saying? Um, so what I do is I utilize this platform so that we as black people can address this shit. Not just black people, but we need to address this stuff happens in over 60% of the homes in America. And the fact that we're forced to live as though it doesn't happen, right? It eats away at us, right? And people blow their heads off. They hide behind drugs. They destroy their lives. And that's acceptable. And then society looks down upon the addict as if they're wrong when in fact, no, society's wrong. Society's wrong for wearing this fake mask. You know what I'm saying? And that is why I take the stance that I take, whether it comes from Bernie or anybody else. Like, yo, at least do the right thing. No one's perfect, but do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Or make an effort to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Right? Um, the womenist movement, I give credit to the womenist movement that was created by Alice Walker, right? Which all of you all, if you that haven't heard of the womenist movement, look it up, read about it, right? Take time, right? And if you guys are gonna come on this week, get here on time. We're celebrating Women's History Month, right? Show up, at least do that. Show up on time so we can have these discussions. We're going to discuss how women are treated in our communities, right? And we're going to talk about it honestly, right? I will say this, right? The other reason why I have little respect for the feminist movement is because due to the fact that white women tried to make us believe they had no power at all when they made up 40% of the slave masters. That's a huge percentage. So maybe they didn't have 50, which is like what, 10% more. But 40% is freaking huge. Right? And in the words of Dave Chappelle, right? They just didn't like their share of the booty. They wanted more. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I feel you. But like that wasn't your booty to have in the first. There shouldn't have been no booty. Nobody should have been held slaves. You know what I'm saying? And so it's also a truth that the feminist movement will not admit. Now, here's the thing. They call different waves, first wave, second wave, third wave, right? So the wave of the feminist movement now are now trying to include Black women who were excluded back then. It's like, no, you cannot go back and rewrite history. You're lying. To say that Audre Lorde was a feminist, no, she was not. She was not allowed to be a feminist because she was Black. Not only that, she worked with Black boys and Black girls. She didn't just work with just Black girls or just Black girls. She worked with Black girls and Black boys, right? Eventually, right? So I think what needs to happen is that we need to have these very real conversations, right? We need to do this research to understand how the women of our community are being undermined by white women and by Black men in our communities, right?
Wait, Marquise. No, Maurice. Real quick. So what you're saying, white women, they're the creators of the feminist movement.
Yes.
And about because
So you'll have women tell you that, oh no, feminism started back in the 500s, right? First of all, feminism is European language, right? It didn't come back from the 500s, right? Yes, there were movements to address issues that women had. But if you go and you research how women were treated in Africa way back before, right? You've had queens, man, that were more powerful than kings, right? Who had great respect, even in indigenous cultures as well. Women were taken into positions of leadership far more than any white nation on this freaking earth, right? And if we as men allow our women to believe that that is wrong, then we are wrong, right? And if we're not brave enough to admit to the Black woman how powerful that she is and was, then that's a problem. Now, I myself will not call a Black woman a queen. I will not call a Black man a king. Why? Because who sold us into this trap? Kings and queens, right? I'm a poet, and there's this saying that the kings do not piss off the poets because the poets are very powerful, right? People listen to the poet. The poet has great power. So when people try to call me king, I was like, don't call me that. I'm a poet. I'm here to hold the king accountable. And that's the problem in our communities, right? Everybody wants to be that king. We want this false stature, right? Well, then what happens? What needs to happen for you to wear that crown of a king or queen? You have to take care of the community. You have to build the community. And most people that want that title don't give a shit about building the community. They don't give a damn about anybody around them. So as long as they feel like they got some money, that's what they want. But the reality is, in order to really get real money, you have to have a community that's going to buy, that you're going to take care of, that, you know what I'm saying? And so to really have worth, right, we need stores that's owned by the community, that's ran by the community, that has principal investors in that community, right? That's how we're going to build our communities. Right, I remember reading Ante Chief Diop's book, Civilization. I forget the name of it, right? But he was talking about that the idea of breaking down the king and queen, that whole matriarchal system, started in Africa first, and then the Europeans was like, Okay. They follow suit, right? So there are kings and queens in the world, but they're mostly like poster child, right? There's no real. Some of them have power, but do they have real power? Presidents have more powers than kings and queens, right? When you go to the United Nations, right? And they're depending on where you're at and how things are happening, right? There are some kings in the world that do have power, but they don't have as much power as presidents. Just because the system has changed so much, right? But all that comes back. We need this. Not if we want to help the women of our communities, we need to understand this knowledge, right? If we're not trying to understand this knowledge, right, we're not understanding like where we are in this world, in this society, right? We need to get the basics so we can know how to maneuver, so that we know what we can do, right? I need to know my limitations as an individual. I need to know that, like, yo, working with Blessings Divine, we can reach more people. Working with Sean, we reach even more people. Working with Jerry, we reach even more people. You feel what I'm saying? Right? What can we do as a community? How can we work together? You know what I'm saying? Right? When women come on here, I do my best to make sure that they're respected. You know what I'm saying? Right? I don't treat them like they're weak, because I don't think women are weak at all. Not at all. Right? Mm-mm. Not at all. Right? I've seen men beat up women, and the way women got them back, damn near rip their souls out their bodies, right? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think women are weak at all, right? So, not the black women I know, and most black men I know will not raise a hand to hit a black woman, will not, because they know there's an ass whooping on the other end of that. You feel what I'm saying? So, um, we need to build businesses. We need to build community gardens. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I pride you on, Blessings, you know what I'm saying, building the community gardens and teaching others how to plant. You know what I'm saying? We need to, control our own food, right? This is things that we can do for the women of our communities. You know what I'm saying? Real action, not just talking. Creating spaces so when they come in, they're not being objectified and being disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell you one thing that you've never seen. You never seen me put a naked picture of a woman on my profile. Why? Because I do my best not to objectify women. Do I look at pictures of big booties? Absolutely. Do I look at videos? Absolutely. Do I promote it? No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back with how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Do I fight with that? I do. You know what I'm saying? And I fight for it for two reasons. Why? Because when I grew up learning politics, there was white women that was teaching me about politics and racism, and was teaching me about how a man looks at a woman is wrong. What I didn't know is they were lesbians, right? At the time, right? So they're giving me their point of view, right? Took me years to, like, asking black women, like, yo, how do you want a man to look at you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay if a man look at your ass. You're like, why are you asking me these questions? Because I want to know, like, what are you comfortable with? It's like, I don't mind if a man looks at my ass. Yeah, but this woman said da. Well, she's a lesbian, you know what I'm saying? She's a feminist. So,
Hey,
like,
can I ask a question?
yeah, when I'm done, let me finish. Let me just finish my thought. I'm almost done. Right?
All right.
So I had to realize that, like, okay, when I go around this woman, if I'm saying I want to respect her, I need to do my best to respect her space. Right? When I'm around this woman, right, I get to know her, right? I could be myself because she's okay. But that doesn't mean I stare at her and, you know what I'm saying, make her uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, if I happen to be looking at her way and she got a nice booty, okay. When that fraction of a second, wow, and then I'm back to doing what I'm doing. But to sit there and be like, damn, and making her feel uncomfortable, that's just wrong. That is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, a balance, a healthy balance. You know what I'm saying? And I really went through a 10-year period of asking different black women what they were comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Because I did not want this ideology given to me by white women to control how I treat the women in my community. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one thing we need to do. We need to talk to Black women like, how do you want to be treated? And when we're treating them out of that, we need to question ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah. So my question to you is: this is kind of like a structural thing in terms of how you're going to structure this month, being Women's History Month. Don't forget, it's also National Poetry Month as well. But anyway, in terms of being Women's History Month, I guess what I'm asking you is, do you intend to break it down like week by week and in terms of different topics around women? Specifically, so there's the racial thing, the Black women versus white women. When we talk about women of our community, are we talking about women overall? Are we talking about women of our quote unquote community being Black women? So, and then there's the class distinction as well, you know, and you spoke to that when you were talking about the the women's suffrage movement, which is basically a certain class of white women, that were, advocating certain things. So anyway, so my question to you is, or my suggestion, I guess, is what it is. Yeah, is if we could kind of break it down so we could focus our conversation and, and zoom in on one particular aspect of, the women in our community one week, and then the next week on another aspect of the women in our community. So I just want to throw that out to you as the moderator, but it's your call to make, but that's just my feedback. But the other thing I want to say, this is just a general comment, and then I'll mute myself. One of the things that I believe has happened with Black men regarding the way we treat Black women is that we've been given permission by our old school masters to disrespect our women. We've been given permission that we can do things with Black women that we couldn't do with white women. And I'm not talking about like sexual stuff. I'm talking about we have been given permission over the years to look at Black women in a certain way, and that's manifested in what we hear a lot of the lyrics, the rappers, misogynist kind of stuff. That's manifested in the old the blaxploitation films, the Superfly stuff. I mean, that Superfly mentality, the pimp mentality, that still is very deeply ingrained in the Black community, and it's really kind of accepted, even in some of the language that we use on a daily basis, So these roots run deep, and I hate to always bring stuff back to slavery because it's not, we're far removed from that, but there's still vestiges of that legacy that kind of perpetuate some of the dynamics between Black men and Black women. And yes, I just wanted to throw that out. I'd be interested to hear what other people might think about that or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to mute myself.
If I could hop in and add on to that degree, I might have to head out because it's getting late and I got things to do in the morning. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we about to end this anyway.
Bet. So what I'll say to that, well, first off, don't ever be apologetic for bringing something back to slavery. Slavery wasn't just something that happened hundreds of years ago. The fact that we're even in this condition, as far as how Black men and Black women relate to each other, as far as how Black men see themselves and all that stuff, that was all part of the slave breaking process. Literally the whole pimp thing and all that type of stuff, that goes right back to the slave breaking process, which has been perpetualized over and over and over again. through socioeconomic and political landscapes and all kinds of societal conditionings. So that's something that's still very prevalent, and it has not stopped from our oppressors, and has not stopped from ourselves. But and one thing I'll say, as far as our responsibility as men to help, actually support and respect and protect women, especially in the Black communities. It's like I say something that gets people. I'm like, we don't need more female MCs, and one looks at me like they're shocked. Like, why would you say that? You're so why would you say we don't need more female MCs? I'm like, well, how many female MCs do we have? And everyone thinks, it's like what? Nicki Minaj, maybe Iggy Azalea if they like them. You know, hold up. Do you know how many female MCs there are? There are so many. You can't think of like 10, can you? No. Well, see, I say we don't need more female MCs because it's not that females can't be MCs, because we don't support the ones that we have. So we need another Black woman to start saying something that no one's gonna listen to. And that's a whole thing. It's like there are a lot of women who do a lot of good work, a lot of women who try and do the right thing, but like, I mean, there's a lot of aspects to this, but just the fact that if someone's not gonna give them the right amount of play, then why should they say anything? Why should the woman say anything?
So I mean, that's one thing that you can do. You could bring the female MCs that you can bring them to my attention. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? I could play their music, through our open mics. You know what I'm saying? I could put their music on the radio station. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's something that can be done to actually support, female MCs. I give them business advice. You know what I mean? I do all kinds of things. I help people get their brands together. You know what I mean? But that's just like just an example for one way to slices into it. You know what I mean?
So, to answer, thank you, Blessings. Jerry, to answer your question, I'm not going to break it down by topic, and here's why. Academics do that. Academia does that, right? And they have these real beautiful topics to make it sound nice, so on and so forth, right? What we as men need to do is we need to examine how we treat the women around us, right? Our relationship to the women around us, right? Like I was saying, I was raped and molested and abused by women growing up, man. Like, I've seen women like torture each other, torture little girls, man. I've seen them like tie this girl to a pole and almost beat her to death, man. Like, women are cruel to each other as well. You know what I'm saying? Well, we need to talk about this stuff, right? And Jerry, you said what a slave master conditioned us to like treat women a certain way, right? When are we gonna stop using slavery as an excuse, right? We need to correct our behavior in the way we treat women. You know what I'm saying? We need to do that, right? And so with all the things that I've seen, right, that doesn't mean that I paint the world or women with a broad brush, right? I need to constantly check myself and my experiences and be like, well, I don't know this woman. Who is this woman? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And so that's why, when we're here, we're going to talk about our experiences with women, right? There's some things I've done that I'm not proud of. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know any better. You know what I mean? Um, and so, and then there's things that I've done that I'm really proud of. You know, I've had Black women tell me to my face, like, I would never get with you because you do too much community work. You're not gonna make any money for me. You know what I'm saying? I've had Black women tell me I'm too smart. I'm like, really not. So I have my frustrations, but do my frustrations give me the right to disrespect women in our community? Absolutely not. It doesn't give me that right. If I have issues, I need to take it up with the woman I have an issue with, right? So we need to create spaces where we can communicate as brothers, man. I created a group on Facebook called Brothers Healing. You know what I'm saying? We need to start talking about some of this stuff, man. Stop acting like, yo, we got this shit. No, we don't got this shit. We don't got it. Because if we did, we wouldn't be suffering. We need to break whatever slave mentality that we continue to talk about. We need to break it, and it ain't gonna happen until we get to the truth of shit. And that's what we need to examine these next 4 weeks as men. How do we treat the women around us? For real. How do we really treat the women around us? Because we can have some great topics, right? And we can talk all around the issues. But if we're not treating the women around us with respect, what's the point of having these great topics? This is where we start. That's why when I did the Black History celebration, right? I do my best to get, artists that are well known, right? To build the artist resume of artists who come here every week, right? Why? Because if you don't have those connections, then how are you going to do it? When you can show somebody, oh, you're on a bill with like a nationally known comic, right? They're gonna be like, oh yeah, you must be dope, so you can come perform. You feel me? So that's me saying thank you. You know what I mean? That's me saying, yo, I realize that I can't pay you for being here, but in return, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So, Sippy, welcome. You're on mute.
I'm gonna just hop in and say something real quick. Yeah, I really appreciate the work that you always be doing, Brother Maurice. Like Waters Bond. That's why we brothers. I always appreciate how you hold everyone, including myself, accountable for everything, and that nothing slip by you like that. And that you're also held accountable to yourself. You know what I mean? You let other people hold you accountable. I just want to say I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to continuing this whole thing next week, because this is essentially important for men to understand who we are as men, and to understand who the woman is and how sacred she is. And it's also very important for the woman to understand how sacred she is her own self. But with that, I gotta be out. But I just want to thank y'all.
Give me one more second before you go. This is the last thing I want to say before you go.
Yes,
So
sir.
the other part, what's going to happen throughout this month is that we're going to listen to what women have to tell us. Even if we don't agree, we're going to listen. We ain't saying shit. We're going to sit with it. And if we need to have discussions, then we'll create a group and we'll discuss it amongst each other. But we're going to give them this month to get shit out. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to listen. And if you hear me saying shit, you call me out. Your brother Maurice, man, let her talk. And that's going to be the gift that we give the women that come and support this platform every week. That's how we're going to celebrate this Women's History Month. You got that, guys? Jerry, Sean, blessings.
Yeah, understood.
Sir.
All right. Thank you, blessings. I appreciate it, brother.
So I appreciate y'all. Peace, family.
Peace. Sippy, you there? I can't hear you. You on mute.
Yeah, I hear you on that, man. I'm with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, and it's not just for this month. I think that needs to be the deal all around. But yeah. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to. I thought there were a couple of women on here tonight.
Well, Sippy's here, but I can't hear her. Sippy.
Yeah, so I know we were having some technical issues tonight.
I'm not having them. Other people are having them.
Yeah, so yeah, I do. I look forward to yeah, I think that's one of my best qualities is listening. So I look forward to just being quiet and listening to the perspectives of the women that are regulars and anyone else who comes on. So yeah, so what's the starting time? Is it 7:45 or is it 8 o'clock?
7:45. Always been 7:45. It's the only thing I'm on time for.
Okay, because you know how us black folks are. We do on this African time, where it's like.
I ain't trying to hear all that.
Yeah, well, that's how black folks tend to be.
We show up on time for the things that are important to us. But I feel you. I get what you're saying. I mean, I'm not saying I'm always on time for everything, but if it's something that's important to me, I try to do my best to show up on time. Call ahead, let them know I'm gonna be late or something. But the thing is, like, when people need something, they be like, "Yo, let me call Mo." I'm like, "What can I give you? Like, you haven't even been around to help me build anything." You know? Sorry. Hey, Sippy, how you doing? You get that sound worked out? Nah. But yo, it's dope that she logged in though. You know? Sippy, can you get on cam? Sean, how you doing, man?
Not bad, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Yo, I got one poem I want to read before we go.
All right, let's do it.
I found love on a two-way street, and I lost it on a lonely highway. Hey, Jerry, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think of the group that did that song, man. I'm drawing a blank.
I found love. Wasn't it Stacy Lattisaw?
No, The Moments.
No, Stacy Lattisaw. That's who I know that did it.
No, that was The Moments who did that song, I believe.
Well, maybe they both did it.
But you know something, man? Most of the songs that we hear, it's been done way, way, way long ago. So yeah, we don't even know a lot of the original artists for a lot of the songs that we hear that we grew up with. But anyway, I'm sure that song "Love on a Two-Way Street," I think that was The Moment.
Before we
But
go,
then again, who knows who did it before them?
any of y'all got any poetry for women?
Not at the moment.
I have some, but not right now.
All right, yo, y'all gonna have to come next Friday with your poetry. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? This
You
is called,
talking about like love poems? You talking about like love poems?
bruh. If you come with a love poem, I'm gonna mute your ass. I'm gonna boot you out. Think about, like, when you talk about women, when you think about women, the plight of women. Now, I will say this though, that like when black women, right, have gotten more loans and money for businesses and have opened up more businesses in the last 5 years than black men, right?
Maurice, I think
And in
she's
some
messaging.
cases, many black women have more political power than black men in some places. So, there is a systematic change, right? But we also need to look like in our communities, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on. So, but I wrote this poem. It's called Sobering Truth. Painful tragedies, dirt swallowed, graves, dirt, excuse me. Painful tragedies, dirt from shallow graves smothered fetus, nightmarish behaviors invaded the mother's peaceful night, by loathsome asses whose minds were pregnant with disdain. Only contempt when women seemed too weak to kick back. Many retaliatory punches were met with wrists tied up, blouses ripped, exposing tears of blood from flesh being ripped from her back by whips hurled with aggressive thrusts, while her children grabbed his legs and cried, "Daddy, stop." Like many times, Daddy never listened. Her crime was reading, exercising her right to be efficacious. She did not weep. She stood there unabashed, looked at her daughter and said, "We must not cry." Equality and freedom was not what she was fighting for. That was for educated folks. She was doing something. She was becoming more. She knew it was what she was supposed to do. No titles, no rules, just what her soul beckoned her to do, become more. Her daughter's heart was nurtured by her mom's courage, persistence, which became her compassion. Her dream would make her more than just a Califian dame. She would be Seguin, her mother proud. Her actions of would be that of a pathfinder that would eventually lead to find roads that would carry women that were raped, beaten, ignored, just laughed at. Awesome this moment would be, then grow to monumental proportions that would embrace all those that seek and willing to impress upon the world, that every soul seeking to be more would be protected by this new egalitarian society. Sobering truth.
I like it.
Thank
Nice.
you. Brothers, I want to thank y'all very much for that very open, candid discussion. But I want us to get deep. I want us to get deep. Let's go. Let's come back next Saturday with some words, some real words. No fluff, real words. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Can I ask you a question? That piece that you just read,
Yeah.
did you say that was Sojourner Truth?
No. Sobering truth.
Oh, Sobering Truth. Oh, okay. Okay, when did you write that?
Oh, about 8 years ago.
Okay. All right, yeah, it's a pretty intense piece. All right, anyway, man, I'm going to check out. I'm going to sign out, and it's always enlightening. It's always a pleasure. It's always it always moves the needle, moves me further down the road, you know, to be a part of this Friday evening affair.
Yo, man,
And
it's
with
always
that,
it's always good to have you, even though I know you're coming to bring it to me.
no, but we have that history, man, of like, you know, just being, you know, just laying things out, you know, and yeah, like I said, it always moves the needle and always yeah, it goes towards the general fund.
It adds for interesting discussion too.
All right then, man. Well, it's like 11 o'clock. You know, I need to yeah, I need to stretch and drink some water. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, man. Next Friday and every Friday, I'm gonna drink like a quart of water during the course of this open mic. You know.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm feeling dehydrated now. You know.
Yeah, I gotta go give me some water too, bro. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right, then. I'm checking out.
Thank you, Jerry. Be safe, man. Take care of yourself, man.
All right. Good night,
Yeah,
Jerry.
you as well. Bless us. God bless us all.
Whatever's out there, bless us. John, you take it easy.
You too, Maurice. Have a good night,
You,
bro.
you're the father. You're the father of a baby girl, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
I am.
we're gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I am.
You know, you can let us know what it's like fathering a young lady. You know what I'm saying? A girl.
In the making, for real. Woman in the making. Definitely.
And
All right, Maurice.
you know, the society and how you feel. Thank you, bro. Much love to you. Thank you for
You too,
everything.
bro.
Keep your
Have
head
a
up.
good night.
Peace. I want to thank. I would like to thank those who hung in there with me. Started off pretty slow, but we ended up getting into some great conversation about women's history, about social economic structure that impedes or impacts us and what we can do to overcome these issues. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I know there's always a possibility I'm not always right, but my purpose is to bring up these discussions, do my best to hear all the sides, and figure out where to go from there. So I want to encourage you, don't just be on the sidelines. Help get involved. Much love to you and be well. Peace.